Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m., and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
Yes, it does. It starts now. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. And, of course, it is a Wendy's Thursday on the John Kincade Show, which means that Wendy's will be bringing by some breakfast this morning. Their new English muffins for breakfast. You can choose a sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. Are you hungry this morning, Bob? Because you sometimes on a Wendy's Thursday, you allow yourself to be a little hungrier.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit today. I got a lunch date this afternoon, so I'm going to save up a little bit for that.
Do that.
I think I already have planned out what Wendy's I'm going to do. It's going to be probably a couple little French toast sticks.
Oh, you did that last week. You liked it.
Oh, good. Delectable item.
All right, well, welcome aboard, Wendy's, and we appreciate you being a part of the show. All I know is this. It's 4-4. It's the bottom of the ninth. There's one out. There's a runner on third. A ball is fouled off and hit midway beyond, I would say, beyond first base and the warning track of right field. Midway, maybe even a little less. Nick Castellanos comes in to get it, and Nick Castellanos does an unorthodox way of going about his business. Here's the catch and throw. You're going to want to hear it from NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Fly ball, right field. Castellanos is over, near foul territory. What should he do? He makes the catch. Coming home is Williams. The throw to the plate. It's a beauty. Yes. He is out at home plate. What a throw by Castellanos to get Luke Williams.
Luke Williams asleep at third base. After stealing second and stealing third, he is absolutely asleep at third base. I can't understand it. He just stands there thinking that Nick Castellanos is going to do the thing that every Little League coach, every college coach, every high school coach would tell you to do. You let that ball drop. But Nick Castellanos, well, let's just say he made a different decision. He explained it to us afterwards about what happened there.
What made you decide to want to catch that one on the right field line? I don't know. I thought I was going to drop it, and at the last minute, a voice popped in my head and said, catch and throw him out. So it wasn't like your momentum going for the ball. It wasn't like, okay, I think I'm going to be able to fire a strike to the plate, or it was just kind of like a split-second thing there? Or? I don't know, man. It just happened.
I got to tell you, people, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No. It's just, it makes me laugh. It's like, and it is a flaw of mine. I embrace this, but I don't think it's a flaw in this case because it's 99.9999% the wrong decision to make. It worked, but I just need logic, Bob. I desire logic. I want to know if somebody does something, I want to know why they did it. Well, what was the thought process? That's just crazy to me, but it worked.
It's the great thing about sports. It's the reactionary part of sports. We've all had it when we're playing, no matter if it's a big game, whatever it may be. You just get that feeling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He got that feeling. He just felt it. He felt good about it. I love that his explanation wasn't too entailed that, I decided I'd planted my feet. No, because we all know Nick Castellanos is a player. We all know the way he just does things his way. And that's the read I've gotten on him for the year, almost 2 full years that he's been here. Those things just happen. I've told you before, nobody gives a crap about this, about me playing in high school and taking a huge shot when I was a sophomore in a state semifinal game, and I missed it.
Was it an unauthorized shot? Was your coach happy that you took the shot?
He never said he wasn't, but
okay.
I still have a father of a guy who was a senior on the team, who was 6'8", played at St. Joe. Anyway, I took a wide-open 16-footer. I missed it. And we wound up losing the game, and whatever. I just felt it. I felt like it was the thing to do. He felt it yesterday. I loved his explanation. That is such sport. Yeah, I know.
You like that?
That
really?
is I do. I think that is such sports. He felt
didn't
it.
get an
He went for it. I know. You know why? Because he doesn't have one. He felt it. He said, I don't know. I saw it there, and I just felt it. And he did it. And 9 times out of 10, you're right. I said to my wife last night, 9 times out of 10, You probably tell him not to do that.
You gotta let that ball drop on a man third base.
But
it did work.
You're not that guy.
I got you.
Rob Thompson's not that guy. Stott, Stubbs, they're not that guy. And they've been in positions before where they just felt something and they went with it in their sporting career. He did, and I thought it was awesome.
You talked about it too. Now it's at different levels and all that kind of stuff. But coaching, did you have players that did this stuff?
Sometimes you get,
Did it drive you crazy, or did it drive you because
you have to know who they are.
I was a hypocrite. I had two stars that played for me back at Downingtown. We won championships, and one of them was my captain, Jason Fallon. And Jason could do no wrong. Played every other shift. He knew he was going out every other shift on defense. He would lower the boom. I trusted him completely. We had a star player who was a sophomore at the time, and then he worked his way through, Eric Metzger. Metzger was a center, and Metzger was a playmaking center and a great goal scorer, and he was just wild. He was a fantastic talent. And I would get nuts at him about unauthorized stuff he would do that was against what I wanted them to do. But he would invariably score goals doing it.
Yeah.
Or do something. And it just shows you that what do you value, and I need logic. And both of them were great players, but both of them went about it differently.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you look at players and you got to let them have that feel. And I don't know. How do you handle it after the game? I go up to him and I just say, what'd you think? And he said, I don't know. It just came to me to do it. All right, good. Play your instincts. That's the kind of player you are.
Pat, were you watching the game at the time? Was it at the time?
I was watching it, yeah.
Okay, you're watching it. You're not listening to it. You're watching it.
No, I'm watching it.
Okay, so you're watching it. Were you John Kruk?
Yes.
I knew you were. I knew it. I knew
it was saying the exact same thing. Don't catch it. Don't catch it. Don't catch it. What John Kruk said is basically what I was saying while watching the game.
I knew it. I said, Egan's yelling at his TV right now.
I was yelling.
I can't believe when he caught the ball, I went, you've got to be getting, I'm doing chemo. And I'm sitting in a room with, there were like probably 4 other people getting their treatment at the time, 5 other people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, jeez.
I was in the car because my son had horseback riding. So I was in the car and had it on the radio. And I was yelling at the radio from the way that Tom McCarthy was describing it.
Fransky.
I'm
right.
sorry. The way he was describing it was more of, it's not shallow and it's not deep. So It was like, okay, it's going to take a really good throw. And he did it. Now, I was saying no. But, sometimes you got to let the players be who they are. And yesterday it worked out.
And that may be, Pat, my rigidity may be the opposite of that is Rob Thompson's ability to let the old Randall Cunningham hat from training camp, which Pat would never remember. But one year, yeah. I mean, you know that, right? You know the stories of it, right?
I don't remember.
You were a kid. You weren't even born.
I was born.
Were you born?
I was grown.
No, you weren't born.
I was in this industry.
You were not
already.
born. You were not. But
cut my teeth.
But I would imagine that the rigidity that I have as a fan or as a viewer is Rob Thompson has obviously given that team the ability to say, when you think you can do something, do it.
Yeah, you definitely have to have the freedom in that spot, right? And you have to feel comfortable in that spot because he heard the voice in his head that I'm assuming sounded a lot like him, and the voice in his head was not Rob Thompson saying, yeah, just throw him out, And that's the thing is you've got a quarterback in Chicago who's talking about overthinking things and then blaming the coaching staff, so the voice in his head is clearly the coaches, but for the Phillies, the voice in seems like everybody's head is just their own because Rob Thompson kind of gets out of the way.
I think
he just expects you to be able to do your job, and yesterday Nick Castellanos did his.
I think it does play a big part.
This is something I'm dying to get into, and I didn't bring it up with Bob earlier. Who is the voice in your head? I have various voices in my head. They are almost never mine. My voices in my head are, I can hear Betty. I can hear, it's strange. We just talked about it a little bit earlier off the air. I can hear Mike Keenan's voice when I was a 19, 20, 21-year-old working for the Flyers. I hear other people's voices when I'm thinking something out. I can hear their voices. It's rarely mine. Nick Castellanos hears his own voice. And I think hearing your own voice is almost reckless. Because your own voice is always...
If you trust yourself.
Yeah, it's weird. It's how you look at it.
Yeah.
Like I look at it as it's most of the time when you find yourself hearing a voice in your head, you're trying to make a decision. Nick Castellanos trusted his own voice. it's weird is that I tend to go, who are wise voices that I know in my past, and what would they be telling me to do?
Huh. I don't. I've
do you
never
have a voice
thought.
in
I've
your head?
never really thought about it that way.
Is your
I
voice in
don't-
your head?
Yeah, I think I trust myself on those things. When I'm in doubt, I go to Donna. Like I
That's
think
good,
what
'cause
she would do because, like, whatever, my wife. But no, I don't really think of outside, like, what would this person do in this situation? I just think to myself, what do you think is the right thing to do, and try to do the right thing.
Pat,
But in sports,
when you were playing sports, is it different than life?
oh yeah, when I was playing sports, I needed
Was
that.
it the
I
voice
wasn't
in
as
your head, or
talented
was it
as-
one of your coach's voices?
Well, it was probably me interpreting my coach's voice, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah,
But
because
you
I
heard your
trusted
own.
that. But,
Okay.
But, like, I have to give props to Rob Thompson here a little bit. Nick Castellanos made the play that he wanted to play, not hearing Rob Thompson's voice in his head. Now, had it gone wrong, we would all say, a stupid play, all that stuff. But sometimes you just have to give that leniency to players. And him not hearing Rob Thompson saying, this is not a smart play, more probably Rob Thompson saying, hey, I trust you. If you guys think you have something, go for it. That's what he felt, and that's what he did.
It is a dumb play, though. It worked, but it was a dumb decision. That is a decision that baseball, you do not make in baseball. You let that ball drop every time.
Yeah.
Every time. But he made it. Look, it's a play that works. You can have a dumb play, a stupid play, and it can work. You can make it work.
But sports isn't guided like that. It's like you talk about. You hate he's going to the spreadsheet or whatever. Sometimes it's just that reactionary thing. Sometimes it's just, this guy's in the big leagues. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Sometimes I got to trust him. And this time, he made the play. I mean, sometimes that's just sports.
Nick Castellanos, Pat, the one thing else, too. I mean, he's had a spectacular year. And we've been chronicling it all along. By the All-Star break, he had reached some of last year's numbers. That's the kind of good, really, really good year he's put together here. But the one thing I'm more impressed with, his defense. Remember how he was wretched last year, well into late in the regular season.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, he came up with like a few really, really good plays that saved games. A couple.
Yes.
Game one, it saved.
He became a Gold Glover in the postseason, and
It's carried over.
You got to remember, he joined this team thinking he was going to be a DH, so I doubt he was doing a lot of outfield drills and spring training and whatnot. But he's thrown into the job of right field because of Bryce Harper's injury, and he's got to kind of make up some time. But one thing we keep hearing from the broadcast is how much him and Paco Figueroa get out there every day and start working on outfield drills and stuff, because he does want to improve. And him and Johan Rojas have really bonded over the fact that they usually are the ones that are out there working on outfield drills together. So they've kind of formed a kinship and a little bit of a mentorship, with Nick Castellanos mentoring Johan Rojas. But it really starts with their outfield work, and you're seeing it pay off in games where he's no longer this huge liability that he was when he had to go into the role because Bryce Harper got injured last season.
You know how many games he's missed this year?
10?
1?
3. He has not played in 3 games this year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, now sometimes he's pinch hit, but he's played in 3 games he hasn't played in. He's improved unbelievable. Like,
he has, and
it's unbelievable.
You make a great point, John. And the one thing, the first time I noticed, now we remember the catches last year in the playoffs, obviously, and then he had another one earlier this year that totally looked like those catches also. But what I noticed too was that when balls were coming off the wall, doubles and stuff like that, not only how quickly he tried to get to the ball, which wasn't something that we saw his first year, but how well he was reading the ball coming off the walls. And guys that maybe could have gotten a triple, no longer that. They're being held to double.
his angles to balls,
Yeah,
too,
he's
even
just
that don't make it to the wall.
Quicker and
are
better angles, yeah. And he has like an urgency to get the balls more than he did before. So, we don't look at him as a guy that looks like he puts in work, but Pat makes a great point. He did, and it's paid off.
And it is admirable, too, because he can be the bit of the grumpy cat at times. Maybe it's just his swagger or what he thinks is his attitude. But he is going to finish with probably 40-plus more runs batted in this year. He has 99. He's sitting on 99. A 100 RBI season is a fantastic year.
He's 3 away from
He's
3 away from a career high.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, he's had 100 before and he's had 101 before, as you say, Pat. He's got 99 now. This has been an amazing year. He has got 27 home runs which, by the way, ties his career high. He's going to have a career high in RBI, I think, by the time this Mets series is over. He is too short. Oh no, he had 58 he had 58 in 2019, which is crazy. His doubles numbers are amazing. He's had a great year. Congratulations, Nick Castellanos, because that was an amazing play. I still think it was a dumb play, but I think it was a dumb play that worked. And again, he trusted his own voice in his head. I asked too, if you have any early risers out there, my wife. Whose voice is in your head? Mine. And she, like, for her.
I understand that from her end. Yes,
she answered mine. She answered her own voice. She listens to her own voice. She doesn't have somebody else's voice in her head. And I thought it was crazy because I'm the only one that you guys had said I hear my own. I don't hear my own voice. I think of who do I trust that's wiser than me. What would be their advice here? It's weird is I don't just go, yeah, John, do this. Like the old Fred Flintstone, angel on the shoulder, devil on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Or the Animal House one, which is even better.
Yeah, so Castellanos now 36 doubles, 27 homers this year.
Fantastic.
The number that we put out before the year, I think it was me, but I think I said he needs to have a combined more than 60 doubles and home runs.
It's amazing.
In order to have a turnaround year. When last year he was at like 27 and 13. He was at 40 last year.
And
so it's pretty good by him this year.
And the Phillies offense is crazy. We'll talk more about it during the course of the show.
They're fun.
I would like to know, seriously, if you wanted to jump in, have some fun with us, 610-632-0975. Is anyone else like, I'm actually thinking now that it's only me who goes to other people's voices in my head, not my own. Because maybe you need to trust your own gut more. So, hey, if you're thinking of getting the latest iPhone, you need to stop. Check out the insane, amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. To learn all about it, just pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Whose voice is in Mike from Delran's head? It's Mike's.
I don't
it's probably
know
Mike's. I think there have to be voices in his head. There have to be.
Probably his wife's also,
he's got like 4 kids, so.
Yeah, they have a pretty cool relationship. So.
I hope a voice of reason. That'd be good. So, a lot of fun. Thanks for being with us this morning. We will get rolling here. And a lot is being said about the Eagles' time away from the playing field. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, there are a few troubling items that have to get corrected before opening day on Monday night, where the boys will be there for it. John Kincade Show here on 97.5, The Fanatic. You know when you open the BetParks app, you feel like you're in the zone immediately. Now, this is my, rest weekend.
LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, A-U-D-A-C-Y. Check it out now. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
6 a.m. hour of the John Kincade Show is always brought to you by our friends at Bradford White. Bradford White's here for the pro. And I missed the hot water pouring on me. I hate not being able to take a shower on these days where I'm hooked to this pump. If you're on the YouTube channel, I'll show it again.
Yeah, you
But I'm
smell.
I can't. No, I do not. I use the.
Pat
they have
and I
these.
were just talking about
They
it.
have these industrial, wipes that keep you clean. Pat, I mean, I'm sorry if I smelled this morning. I'm trying my best. I did something today though I never do. I did the hoodie and the shorts in honor of all you guys saying it's hoodie shorts weather, and I must say I'm not uncomfortable with it yet. So.
It was like 53 degrees when I walked out of
Nice.
the house
It
this
was
morning.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, yesterday afternoon, and you can always count on the Fanatic to be able to bring you some of the people who are covering the teams and getting their insights. So when we're having discussions, you get to hear from them and hear, well, are you off base, on base, or maybe something that's going on in the locker rooms that maybe we haven't heard about. And yesterday afternoon, the best show ever in a matter of an hour. And I got done chemo and I'm driving home and I got to hear both of these lives. It was great. E.J. Smith was on from the Inquirer and Tim McManus was on from ESPN. And they had a variety of discussion points. And one of them I wanted to get to first was where E.J. was talking with the boys and Jen about the hurt struggles or the perceived hurt struggles. And I believe E.J. thinks they're real, but I think you feel better when you hear his explanation.
This is part of the evolution for, a young quarterback, and you're seeing other quarterbacks across the league, go through it. I mean, we saw Mahomes go through it a few years ago. Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are both going through it right now. Like, these defensive coordinators will eventually catch up to figure out what works against you. And I think Todd Bowles is kind of among those defensive coordinators of schemes that have worked against Jalen Hurts. Now, listen, I mean, the Jaguars are on a similar scheme to Todd Bowles, and Jalen Hurts played pretty well against the Jaguars last year. So, I think that there's an evolution that happens here. Defenses catch up to you a little bit, and they start presenting you the thing that you struggle with most, and then it's up to you to find the answer. It's up to you along with your coaching staff. And I think, that's not to say that, the league has figured Jalen Hurts out or, that, this is how it will be forever. That's usually not the case. These elite quarterbacks with these elite offenses, they usually catch up to it.
And kudos to Pat Egan on that. Because, Pat, I mean, it's something that you sort of called out and talked about with Todd Bowles. That
EJ's just stealing my stuff.
You think EJ stole it?
I think clearly, yeah. He listens to the show. He heard
lets
me say
you
that.
steal.
Went, wow.
And you steal. We steal from EJ. EJ can steal from us.
Never thought of that.
You were all over it this week, which is great.
Yeah,
This was one of your
par for the
first
course.
things. Yeah, this really is. This is insightful from you. Pat was told by management, come up with two really great things on this matchup or you ain't getting on that plane. And Pat said, okay, I'll bang those babies out in the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Try to screw me over, keep me from a trip.
Attaboy.
Now boarding.
Well, I like that explanation. Tim McManus was talking about one of the mistakes that was made that was corrected in week 2.
Well, let's call it what it is. It was a mistake by the Eagles to not utilize Swift more in week 1 against the Patriots. They escaped with a win, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a miscalculation. I think what they were thinking at the time, they wanted to lean on old hat for the first week, like guys who'd been in the system, who knew the plays really well. I think there was like a sense of comfort there, and they really like Gainwell. He's an efficient runner, and he's good at his job, but he's not as explosive as Swift is. And you put Swift behind an offensive line as good as this one and play a defense that was giving you a lot of up front and showing you light boxes. A guy like Swift can he can run all day on you, and he can break some really big ones. And the biggest one that he broke is, longer than any run that Gainwell has had in his career in the NFL. So how do they move forward? After that performance where he goes off, how can you not feature him until somebody slows him down? With Gainwell potentially coming back as early as this week, it's not going to be as heavy as a workload for Swift. But I think that you're going to see those two guys as the 1-2 punch. And right now, for me, Swift has got to be the one in that 1-2 punch.
There's only one thing in that entire, lesson there that Tim McManus told us, what I think was really insightful, was the idea that he said the Eagles lost sight of DeAndre Swift week 1. BS. Brian Johnson did. Brian Johnson.
I don't know.
Lost DeAndre Swift.
Look, he was lost all training camp, too. All the stories came out saying, yeah, it's odd. The other 3 running backs got 4 carries, 3 carries, 2 carries, and here's Kenny Gainwell with 30. Here's Kenny Gainwell with the first team all the time. We questioned it beforehand. Like, really? Yeah. I guess Gainwell's having that good of a camp. Is Swift not having that good of a camp? They made that decision early on.
And to me, that makes me question, what were they seeing?
Yeah. I agree
DeAndre
with you.
Swift has a bigger run in his career as an Eagles career than Kenny Gainwell has.
Yeah, I just
like
don't see Gainwell. I do too. I like him for what he is.
Yes.
I don't like him to try to up him to what he isn't. And what I don't think he is, and we all talked about it from week 1, I don't think he's your number 1 back. I don't think he's any team's number 1 back. I think he's a really good, in Pat's terms, change of pace kind of guy, a good second guy, probably 2. DeAndre Swift, when he's standing in the backfield, just to me, forget the 175 yards and 28 carries, just looking at him, looks like an NFL running back to me. I don't see that in Kenny Gainwell.
Pat, you remember when Deuce Staley would be calling the running back rotation?
Yeah.
And in the second half, they'd start the first possession with like the 3rd string running back.
Yeah.
Boston Scott.
Used to drive me nuts. And talk about yelling at the television. But it was somewhat effective. But I wondered if to me, if Gainwell becomes that secondary back, I think I'm fine with it. Especially if DeAndre's putting out the way he is.
I'm fine with that. I agree with everything Bob said. I just never look at Kenny Gainwell as a number 1 back. But if he can be a change of pace back, that's great. But in order to have a change of pace back, you need a number 1 back.
And we're both big fans of Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, I mean,
coming out, we wanted them to draft Kenny.
He's a poor man's DeAndre Swift.
Yes. Well, yeah. I hate the poor man's thing.
Well, he's a lesser. Okay, not poor man. He's a lesser version. He's not as good as DeAndre Swift, but he's got a similar skill set.
And he is a guy who he does protect the football. He's great at running out the clock later in games. So is Boston Scott, though. You put Boston Scott in later on. You put Boston Scott in later in a game when the defense is tired, and he just he'll get 4 yards a clip, 5 yards a clip.
Yeah, and that's kind of Gainwell also, or he's there for a little hitch out of the backfield where you can throw him the football. We saw last year on 3rd down, they went to him an awful lot.
Absolutely.
Gainwell when they put him into the game. I had no problem with that. Now, come playoff time, because of the fumble, whatever it is, Miles Sanders, the trust factor.
Running out of bounds.
They use Kenny Gainwell. Even then, when you make him kind of the, air quotes, featured back in the playoffs, he wasn't the featured 10, 12, 15. No, he was featured in that he got 7 carries as opposed to Sanders who got 2 or 3 because they trusted him a little more. I just don't see it with him. I love what he is. I just don't see it with him lining up, 1st and 10, first play of the game. Here's your starting running back, and it's Kenny Gainwell. That just doesn't fit with me.
The +2. There's a lot of theories. You want to get in with us, you can. It's 610-632-0975. And honestly, what do you think about the fact is, to me, DeAndre Swift not being used in week 1 was malpractice. And it makes me wonder, what did they watch all summer? What did they evaluate? How did they evaluate? Brian in the Northeast wants to chime in on that. Brian, welcome in. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, buddy.
First time, day 1 listener. So
awesome. We appreciate you jumping in.
You got it. I really think there's an underlying issue here with, I think Howie Roseman, since it was his draft pick, I kind of think that he might have been telling the coaches, like, hey, this guy's got to be our number 1 type of deal. Like, it makes Howie look better if his draft pick.
All right, let me ask you, Brian, do you think Howie, with 2 Super Bowls in 5 seasons, one championship, obviously, do you think he's really still worried about that stuff? I would think he's got some of the best job security of any general manager in the NFL.
Oh, I definitely think he has some of the best job security, but he does have a little bit of an ego. So
okay.
When you're the best, you want to be the best. So it's my draft picks. It's bringing guys in free agency. It's, cap space. It's all that, I think.
All right. Good job,
It's
buddy.
interesting. What Brian says is interesting. I don't go there, though. Because why? What's the most important thing of keeping your job? Winning football games. I'm not trying to shoehorn in a guy that I picked in the, what did he go, 4th round? Kenny Gainwell, Pat?
4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to shoehorn a 4th round guy who's more slightly built, and who we all know is better conducive to being that, change of pace guy, that maybe third down guy, whatever it may be. I don't think you're doing that at the risk of not playing a better player.
Could it be that maybe Kenny Gainwell's a better practice player?
Possibly.
It could be, yeah.
Like maybe he puts more into practice. Maybe he shows out more in practice. Maybe he feels like he's a little hungrier.
Now, if you were to take tape of DeAndre Swift's pro career going into this season,
correct,
and tape of Kenny Gainwell's pro career going into this season, I don't think it's very close.
I don't think it is either.
By the way,
so
even
like
fifth round, I messed
up. It was
up.
fifth round. No, that was me too.
Yeah, I don't think there's a shoehorn thing that goes on there.
If he had called up with that theory 2 years ago, I might have believed it more.
Or if Gainwell was a third-round pick or a second-round pick?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
A second night
third,
pick.
you have more cachet.
Right.
But, I mean, Howie Roseman's done like a mea culpa and kind of admitted, for the most part, that some of his picks didn't work out, and he's okay with it. So I don't believe for 1 second that Howie Roseman's calling down to Sirianni and saying, we got to play this guy because I picked him. He didn't seem to do that with Donald Pumphrey back in the day.
Didn't know.
It's a similar situation. He was drafted in the fifth round.
You miss him?
Donald Pumphrey?
Yeah,
Big Papa Pumph? No, I don't miss Donald Pumphrey at all.
Was Jamie all in on them back in the day?
I don't remember how
I
Jamie
think he
felt
was,
about
yeah.
Pumphrey.
I bet.
Thought he
Just
was
the
an
name. Yeah, but
intriguing
Jamie could get excited by someone's name.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It could get
who doesn't love Donald Pumphrey?
Exactly. Anything can get
It's a fun name to say.
All right, Kevin in the Northeast joins us. Kevin, good morning. You're on the Fanatic. What do you think about the decision, like when they didn't use, DeAndre the first week, and then they overload him the second week?
Yeah, so the second week it was beautiful. He looked great out there. But the first week, even let's say the second week, he dropped the pass. He went offside. I think the comfortability of having Gainwell, because he's well versed in the system. He'd been there for a while and everything like that, and he was trustworthy. I think that's what happened in spring in the camp. I think that's what they've seen. It was like he wasn't comfortable with the playbook, and that's what I was telling my friends. It was like he compared him to the running back that's in with the Chargers. He was like, now if he came over, where are you going to start?
Austin Eckler.
Yeah. If he came over, would you start him all the way? I'm like, yo, if he don't know the playbook, no.
Well, where do you get real quick, Kevin? Where do you get that DeAndre Swift doesn't know the playbook? Because I think the fact that they were putting him out doing receiver drills, having him run receiver plays, makes me think, well, they're comfortable with him knowing the playbook pretty well.
That's true, because Swift is supposed to be really good coming out the backfield, catching the ball. Also,
and we didn't see. By the way, we didn't see that the other night.
Right, exactly. But we did see him come out. He did a drag route coming out the backfield, and he dropped the ball. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's one of the reasons why we brought him in, is because he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and of course, Gainwell is that guy as well. But I just really think it's because they're a little bit more comfortable with him knowing the plays and all that type of stuff.
Have a great morning, Kevin. Thanks, buddy.
Kevin makes an interesting point.
This is an interesting point.
But, if I'm trying to get DeAndre Swift to learn the playbook, to get more accustomed, aren't I playing him a little bit more?
Yeah, I got to play
in the training camp and stuff like that to get him acclimated?
In preseason, I would have used him more.
Now, look, they could have put DeAndre Swift and featured him the other night. He could have had 10 carries for 24 yards, and all of this is, for naught. But he had a great, great game. Maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe us saying, like, oh, my God, it's clear cut. He's the number one guy. Maybe it's not really that. But I just think, like we talked about in week one, John, I just don't think that Kenny Gainwell is the answer for a number one running back.
If Gainwell doesn't get hurt in week one, do we see DeAndre Swift have that opportunity?
I know he would get some because that's their MO,
He'd
right?
get some, right.
Because, they forgot about Devontae Smith in week one year, and then they come back 10 targets the next. They forgot about Dallas Goedert. Boom, they go to him right away. All of those things. So, yes, we would have seen him to that extent. Absolutely not.
Hey, if your basement or your crawl space smells musty, or if you've got watermarks on the block walls, you need to get a completely free home inspection from the experts. Call BQ Basements and Concrete, because the problem's only going to get worse. They'll take great, great care of you. Okay, E.J. Smith was also on from the Inquirer. Tim McManus from ESPN was on yesterday with the best show ever, and it was pretty awesome. It was asked about what's going on in the secondary. And one of the questions that was answered by E.J. Smith was, what's the role that Bradbury's going to have the rest of the year. Listen in.
In terms of what they do in the slot, I think it could be Goodrich. I think you could see a couple of different options. Long term, I think Bradbury in the slot might be the answer. I think that it was telling that when we asked Nick Sirianni about, Bradbury's time in the slot in training camp, he kind of said, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to give anything away. I think that, reading between the lines there, I think that it's definitely something they're considering.
I like that idea too. By the way, and I think maybe long term, like maybe next year you draft a cornerback. And you can slide, you draft an outside corner.
Well, they have some corners. They have some young corners. They keep a lot of guys active with this cornerback group. So, there are guys
bodies,
there.
yes.
There is bodies. Whether you trust them or not, we'll see. The question comes down to, do you trust Goodrich more in the slot more than you trust Job on the outside?
I think they love Job
That's
a lot.
what it comes down
they like
to.
Job a lot.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But it's a precarious situation, one that can't be overlooked.
Tim McManus talked about the lack of playing time for Sidney Brown.
He really did.
Early in the season, they wanted players who were more established in the league and don't want to give up really the big play via a mistake. As we know, Brown is somebody who's very much an aggressive player, and I think that he still needs to learn where the balance is. Like in their mind, like he's got to find that middle ground of using those instincts, which separates him, that and his closing speed and, and his physicality and the violence in which he plays the game is really what his great traits are. The only thing is that sometimes, you have to make sure that you're not full throttle in the wrong spot where you're giving up a big play. And so I think it's still a learning process for him. I believe as the season goes along, Ty, you're going to see more of him because, number one, the safeties aren't very good. And number two, I think he's going to grow. And, they certainly believe from what they saw in college that this is somebody that's very capable of playing this position at a high level. And eventually I think they're going to let him loose.
Ty had a marvelous, retort to this that I was saying in my car at the same time. Do you want the guy with the high upside, the young player with the high upside and the better skill set to be playing? Or do you want to play guys that aren't as good, that you acknowledge aren't as talented, but they're not going to make the big mistake? To me, early on in the season, I want to see the better guy with the better talent and see if he costs me, then I understand. Then I may take the strategy of playing it safe.
I understand, and Tim McManus hit it perfectly. You are in a defense that is organizationally does not want to give up big plays, okay?
Yes.
You have a kid here who's a firecracker that maybe 7 out of 10 times he's going to make a play. You're going to go, whoa. And then 3 times he's going to come up and it's going to be somebody running behind him. It's a fence thing. I don't want them to take away his aggressiveness. I do want them to teach when to be aggressive, when not to be. But hopefully that's in something inside of him where he knows, and with teaching he gets better at it. But God, I hope they don't negate any of his aggressiveness.
Hey, check out Wendy's new English muffins for breakfast. It is a Wendy's Thursday here on the John Kincade Show. Egg and cheese with sausage, egg and cheese with bacon. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. We'll have Wendy's coming up a little bit later on. I want to get to Terrell here. As Terrell wanted to talk about Brian Johnson and the idea of that DeAndre Swift getting lost a little bit. What's going on, Terrell?
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to take a little different turn on this. I actually like I think we're kind of too hard on Brian Johnson, and I actually like the fact that Nick Sirianni actually signed Brian Johnson and gave him a chance.
I like the hire. I got to tell you, I like the hire. I'm very on it. He's had a bumpy start.
Yeah, and that's still whether it works or not. Only time will tell. But we're so quick to dismiss a lot of I'm not trying to take it there, but we're so quick to dismiss a lot of African American coaches. Like look what Andy Reid did with Eric Bieniemy. Like he fumbled the bag on that. Like why you gonna let him walk? And that bum Washington quarterback, they about to be in the playoffs because of him. Maybe at the 7th seed, maybe.
Yeah, they were. If they had won one more game last year, Terrell, they would do that. I don't think it's an African American thing.
I got to tell you, I didn't know if Brian Johnson was white or black, but when I was looking at his offense before I saw a picture of him,
every offense.
I think Chicago will be a better team if they had Eric Bieniemy right now.
Well,
there's a lot of teams would be better if they had Eric Bieniemy, right, Terrell? He's pretty damn good.
Thank you, buddy. Wait, definitely has Washington looking more competent. and he's getting a lot out of Sam Howell right now as far as just efficiency. Just like don't cost us the games, kid. Don't cost us.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy's a smart mind. He's he has his own level of baggage that teams have to get past, but off the field baggage. On the field, he's freaking amazing.
He's very, very good.
He's been outstanding, and it looks you can already see the imprints of how he's improved Washington. That's going to be a tough game next week that we'll be talking about with the 3-0 Eagles after you guys come back with a win. All right, we have a lot coming up, including Bob wants to talk about the coordinators, and he wants to ask you a question about when you're watching the games. Have you seen something that maybe he hasn't? It's the John Kincade Show here on 97.5, The Fanatic. I love Window Nation. I love the fact that Window Nation has given me
official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic on a Wendy's Thursday. We got you here. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's. Get their new English muffin sandwiches in the morning. You'll absolutely love it. Ricky is the big lunchtime fan. So Ricky likes to find his way to Wendy's at lunchtime or after a show, even at night.
He's pretty good at that stuff.
He'll do the late night sometimes and check it on out, which is great. We appreciate you being a part of the show today. Everybody who's gotten in this morning. Wendy's called me and told me Terrell has not been in for breakfast. So, Terrell, you've not been in for breakfast. They want to see you. We just talked to him. Hey, Bob brought up a point, and it's something that we've had on the board, and we've been waiting to talk about it, is the idea is that when we watch a game, sometimes we watch really, really tightly. Sometimes we watch, more casually. Some people are scrolling through something. But in an Eagles game, we're usually on the edge of our seats. But it was interesting when Bob asked the question in Cooney's Corner, have you even noticed this really?
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
Yeah, maybe it's my untrained eye, whatever it may be, but I see a lot of similarities. Okay, when you look, and it's only 2 games, I think we have to say that as much about the coordinators, maybe even more, than we do about the players, because most of the players on this team we've seen, we know, they have experience at what they're doing. The coordinators don't. So you're trying to look for differences. Perhaps there's been some. Like I said to you, John, that I didn't love that the defense week 1 just went one-on-one, the defensive line, one-on-one constantly pretty much all game. A couple of stunts here and there. But they did that because it was a patchwork offensive line of the New England Patriots. I am not going to fault Sean Desai for that at all. I thought that was fine. But there's similarities between Desai and what Gannon did and what the defense has done. And what are they? Keep the ball in front of you. We can plainly see that. Don't let the guys get behind you. Jefferson did get a touchdown. I think it was Jefferson when they had back turned. Blankenship's back was turned on like an 18-yarder, whatever it was. But they're not getting beat with the deep ball. That is something that they want to keep doing. They depend greatly on that defensive line, as well they should.
Sure.
And late in the game against New England, they started to get to Mac Jones a little bit better, and that was good. So if you're looking for things, you trust that your corners are going to be able to be out on islands in Bradbury and Slay. And we've seen that. We've seen them lined up one-on-one and maybe not get safety help as much as maybe you would think. But that's what you do with 2 guys that are that good. You see safety stepping up a little bit, not all that much. You see corners maybe that you want to see press more, not pressing as much as maybe you'd like. So there's a lot of similarities. It's going to take time to see differences, but right now I kind of see similarities there. And then on the offensive side of the ball, okay, you had a game where the offense was a bit stalled. We saw that a few times last year.
Absolutely,
Chicago,
we did.
There's different games.
Indianapolis game was terrible.
Indianapolis, yeah, Jacksonville early on, things that come to mind. So that happened. When you needed it, you went to a dominant run game. Well, we saw that more than a few times last year. It happened the other night. The passing game wasn't all that great, so boom, they decided to stick with the run. You didn't target a guy named Dallas Goedert in game 1. That happened game 1 last year. The next game you come back and boom, you start targeting him. People question you about DeAndre Swift not getting some time. Okay, we hear you. We throw him back in. That sounds an awful lot like Shane Steichen before, too.
There was an injury on that one, but I get you.
Yeah, different things. Well, let's go A.J. Brown on the sideline saying something, and boom, they go right to him twice. So there's a lot of similarities here. I think it's going to take a little time to see differences. And I'm just saying for me, I'm not going to lie and say that I see a bunch of differences and all that. I'm not going to say I won't see them coming, but maybe a real trained eye sees a lot of differences right now. And maybe you two do also. I just really haven't.
I don't see a lot of differences, but what I do see is a more passive defense. And I think they're afraid of the secondary.
But I was going to say, is that personnel?
I think they're afraid of the personnel. I think they don't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson out there like they did last year, a guy that they really, really trusted. And they even brought him along slow last year a little bit as far as he became an impact player as things went along. But I see I'm not talking about specific plays or a specific style that they're running, but I sense a more passive defense from the Eagles, and I think that's hurt, Pat, because I haven't seen enough of. I've seen enough pressure on quarterbacks, but I haven't seen enough getting to the quarterbacks, and that was their skill set last year.
No, I haven't seen it nearly enough, and I feel like I'm a broken record at this point bringing it up, but they've played makeshift offensive lines their first 2 weeks. So the fact that they haven't gotten the quarterback probably as much as I expected is a little bit cause for concern, because they're going to end up facing an offensive line that is fully healthy, and they haven't done that yet. I mean, you're facing backup left tackles, backup centers, and you can't get the pressure that you probably should. It's not giving me a ton of faith that you're going to be able to dial up the pressure against a completely healthy offensive line that's been playing together since training camp. Now, I mean, I expect them to eventually right the ship because talent's going to win out, and they are a very talented front. But not getting a guy like Hassan Reddick going early on, it's like, what's going on here? But then again, it happened last year.
That's why it's
we were saying
opening
the same
day.
thing a year ago.
That's why you guys will attend opening day on Monday night. Because we're going to see I think we're going to see a different Eagles team on Monday night. I think they're going to show out on Monday.
I think when you bring up trust as far as the defensive side of the ball goes, that to me screams linebacker play. Screams it.
See, now I sort of wonder about safety play.
Yeah, I agree with
Reed,
you on that.
I think with Reed Blankenship out, I think Sean Desai did exactly what he should have done. Yes, it's been more passive, but some of that's been dictated by first week, maybe fear of personnel. Second week, injuries in personnel. Sure. I have not been displeased with Sean Desai.
I haven't been displeased or overly pleased with either one of them. I thought, good. Brian Johnson, good on you. You saw what was working, and you stuck to it. My God, you stuck to it to the tune of 28 runs by one player. Good for you. That was impressive. But overly disappointed or overly impressed? Not yet. Just not yet. Not there yet.
Yeah, I'm going to say the idea that Terrell brought up in the phone call, we can wrap that up. Terrell brought up about people are being too tough on Brian Johnson because he's an African-American coach. I got to tell you, I'm not, and Terrell, I love you. And you have
was that
great
Terrell
insight.
Or was it Kevin who said that?
I thought it was Terrell.
Okay.
Maybe it was Kevin. Maybe it was Kevin.
My fault.
Kevin and Terrell, I was. I got a problem with that. Because that's a bunch of crap. Every coordinator in this town gets hyper criticized for the Eagles, whether they're 14-3, whether they're 9-8. It's always been a thing. Was Jonathan Gannon heavily criticized because he was a white coach? I mean, I just don't like when that gets inserted because I don't think it's legitimate at all. Absolutely at all.
We can only speak for us. For us,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it's like,
I agree with you.
Gannon was getting crushed by people, constantly crushed. And even Shane Steichen had some bad days. So, hey, the 7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the all-new Bet Parks app. Sportsbook and casino in one sleek, easy-to-use app in Pennsylvania and Jersey. Make sure you check it out. The Bet Parks app is absolutely amazing. Here's one of the things that I will take up with Brian Johnson, and I think it's a legit critique, and it's something they better really find a way out of fast. I love Sharp football. Warren Sharp, he is one of my favorite follows in football. I love Sharp football. I check it out. I check out his website. I check out his content. I think he's really, really good. Do you know the Eagles are one of the worst teams on offense this year, going 3 and out? Does it seem that way to you?
Say that again. The Eagles are the worst.
They have the third most 3 and outs in football
offensively.
Yeah. And with this,
they had 5 in a row or 4 in a row. So
5 in a row first week, right?
Yeah.
To me, you have a healthy offensive line. And the offensive line that we are constantly spoon-fed is the best in football. His wide receiver core, his tandem, I think it's second to none in the NFL. I think that we're going to see some really good receivers down in Tampa Bay, but I think it's a top-notch. He's got a Pro Bowl caliber tight end. He's got a spectacular rushing attack. I think it's ridiculous. Now, it's only 2 games. So this is one that I'm circling. So from this point on, from opening night on, I'm writing off the first 2 games. But that's bad. Just to put it in perspective, Shane Steichen never had them in 3 and outs, even when Jalen Hurts was in a sing. They never were in the top, they were never in the top 12 teams of 3 and outs. You can't have it. Not with all this offensive personnel. Not with this offensive line. That's absolutely inexcusable. Can't have it. It's got to change. And I think opening night, we'll see it start to change. Here's the teams you're with. Pittsburgh's the worst. Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and the Eagles. Then the Eagles.
Yeah,
you can't be down there. You can't be with those offenses.
But I don't expect that to be a thing.
And
this
that's why I think
offense
it'll
is
change.
too good. Yeah.
But
I do.
That's one of those ones.
That's one of those things after 2 weeks you can say, wow, the Eagles are here and that. They're not going to finish there.
And they won't.
No.
And they'll fix that. They're going to fix that up big time. It is a small sample size, but again, people will be like, well, it's a small sample size. It is, but that's a small sample size that I think should never happen. Pat, I mean, with this offensive line, all that offensive talent, a MVP caliber quarterback from last year, and everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
And you got DeAndre Swift steps in and then is a monster. There's no reason for the Eagles to be at the bottom of the league in 3-and-outs. One of the worst teams in 3-and-outs. That's one. I don't care how small the sample size is. It should never happen. That should never happen.
It
with
is
this
2 weeks,
offensive
though.
line.
I mean,
I get you.
Yeah,
I did play Bill Belichick week one.
I can't get too upset about it because it is 2 weeks in. Like,
okay. I know. I get you.
I get both sides of it. Like, I get the frustration because I'm frustrated that the defensive line hasn't gotten any penetration and it's 2 weeks in. You're frustrated that that's last in 3-and-outs and it's 2 weeks in. So it's like, I feel like I'm pot, meat, and kettle here.
The only thing is, though,
saying that like it's don't worry about that, but then worry about my thing.
The only thing is, though, I think with all the personnel on offense, it should never happen. There's no excuse for it. That's one that has to change. That's one of the biggest ones that has to change.
I'd be interested to see how many what their play calling is on third down. I know there have been a couple of instances where it is a third down play call, and I don't remember exactly what the play call was. I just remember my reaction being, "What the F is that?" Sitting on my couch, like that's what we
Jack's
dialed
not
up.
watching games with you, right?
No.
Okay,
no,
good.
I tried very hard not to curse around him. I had to yell at Ray Dunn because Ray Dunn was dropping some language.
Is that what you're?
I said, "Hey, ears like a hawk over here, mine like a sponge. Let's watch that language over here.
Let's watch it." Ray Dunn's like a potty. Is Ray Dunn a potty mouth?
Ray hit some traffic coming to the Temple game on Saturday, and he voiced his displeasure, and I had to let him know, "Hey, we gotta."
Ray's a potty mouth.
We're molding minds over here, Ray. Just pipe down.
I wouldn't have expected that.
But I understand Ray's frustration because he wanted to get to Temple, Norfolk State.
You know that Silvana could drop him a few
rivalry
times.
renewed. Yeah.
Silvana could drop it a few times.
Most of those Temple kids.
We're just a little rougher than the normal kid. But look at what we turn out.
That's what I think. When I think of you, I think rough around the edge. I think the bad boy of the streets.
You do?
No.
No,
not at all.
That's really nice. Nice of you to lie to me.
But I'd be interested to go through every one of their third downs and say, okay, what was the play call? Was it not executed correctly? Was it a bad throw? Was the offensive line not in sync? Or was it just an absolutely horrible call?
How about the draw play runs in New England? They were terrible.
Yeah.
In third downs.
There was one, and I've talked about it a little bit this week, but it was like a third down bubble screen to Dallas Goedert, who had absolutely no chance of getting the first down.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is the best we had in our bag?
That was the
this
play?
call?
Hey.
So I'd be interested to see, if you go through the actual first 2 weeks, what did they call on third down?
I want to see from you, Pat. You've had this on the show sheet for a little while. We haven't been able to get to it, but I mentioned you're going to the Monday Night Football game on Monday. But you think the NFL has to go seize another night, and it's time that they grew the hell up, is what you say.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I'll ask you guys, because you mentioned it last week. Why does the NFL not have Friday games?
You know why they don't?
No, I'm asking you. Why?
They don't want to invade the lifeblood of football, which they consider to be high school football.
Okay.
And they've said that on the record.
Bobby, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I think that is it, Pat.
Grow the hell up.
No, wait a minute. Are you telling us or are you telling the NFL?
The NFL.
Okay.
Roger Goodell.
Because
Grow
you've
up,
told
dude.
us that, too, in
Grow
post-show
up.
meetings.
We don't want to get in the way of high school football down in Texas with their 10,000. Okay, so we're placating to a couple of states that are fanatical about high school football, and we're not placating to the masses around the country. Every single league has to deal with the sanctity of high school football. Oh, my God. We can't touch high school football. We can't compete. Really? So you're going to sit there and battle it out with, Archbishop Carroll
Oh, wait a minute.
battling against Cardinal O'Hara.
They're not talking about Philadelphia high school football.
I know. That's even worse. Like the fact that when you think of high school football, it's Texas, Florida, California a little bit.
Georgia.
Okay, so but
Texas,
like the
Florida, Georgia,
majority
California.
of the country are not fanatics about high school football. Grow up. Cater to your actual audience and have Friday games instead of Thursday games where I have to go to work the next day. It's dumb, it's idiotic, it's stupid. And if you don't want to do Friday because, oh, my God, we might get in the way of name a random high school from Georgia.
That'd be Marist.
Marist. Oh,
That's
my God.
Olivia's
We might get in the way of Marist's, homecoming game. How could we ever? Then fine. Then do Saturday.
All right,
but this
devil's
is ridiculous.
advocate.
No, there's no devil's advocate. We're
All
not
right,
playing devil's advocate. You had your Cooney's corner.
So-
This is Pat's point of view.
Jack and Riley turn out to be like 6 foot, 210 pound studly guys.
Then they're not my
seriously.
kids.
And how many years apart are they? 4?
Yeah.
So for 8 straight years, you have Friday night football games. Your kids,
can't wait.
because they're good football players, and you go to 8 straight years of Friday night football.
I'm there.
And you wind up missing more than a handful of Eagles Friday night games.
You'd
Why?
be pissed.
Why? That's the thing. Why? Why would I miss a
Because your
handful?
kid's playing. You're not going to be at your. It could be your kid's game in high school football.
You could have the Friday night game,
Don't tell me you're streaming it because nobody cares.
it's one game. Yeah, well, I mean, I would stream it, but it's one game. Like you can do both, and somehow the NHL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball have figured out a way to do both, and figured out a way that like these other leagues go, oh, we don't give a rat's ass about high school anything, but the NFL, the most powerful league in the world, is catering to a handful of states and high school football as if they really care.
'Cause you know what?
It's ridiculous.
Pat, because high school hockey isn't a thing.
It doesn't
And
matter.
high school basketball
they're
isn't a thing
competing against
nationwide.
high school football.
No, because
The NHL is competing against high school football.
No, they're
the NBA is
they're
competing in it.
respecting it. The NFL's respecting.
The NFL doesn't respect anything. Like that's so ridiculous. They don't respect a damn thing because they own days of the week and they could own Friday. They need to grow the hell up and realize that the masses outweigh the few in this situation.
Okay.
In your hypothetical situation, Bob, if my kids are playing a game and the Eagles are out there and whatever, like I'm streaming the game, but I'm at you can do both at this point. You have the ability to watch the game and watch both in the same time. This is
No
ridiculous.
chance your kid's
Pat, but
playing.
nobody's
going to.
Your kid's playing. You're not looking at the phone.
If my
you're
kids,
present for your kid. You're in the stands.
If my kid's on defense and the offense is out,
wow,
I can do both. There's no wow about it. What do I care about the offense?
Because you got
kids playing defense.
Because Pat, there is a generation of people who don't live on their phones.
No.
And you don't have to live on your phones. You don't have to live. You can be present in the moment.
My
for your
generation
child.
is living on our phones.
I agree
That's your
with you.
generation. My generation can do both. My generation sits at the World Series game, and we're watching the World Series, and then after the pitch, we turn around and we watch the Eagles and
Well,
Texans
we had
game.
to do that, and that sucked that night.
But that's my point is you can do both. The day and age of not competing, the NFL having a Thursday night game, which is interfering with everybody's work schedule on Friday, is ridiculous because we're catering to high school football.
Okay, let's hear what Chris in Nazareth is passionate about this. Chris, you want to give Pat the what for?
Yeah, you know what, Pat? If they did that on Friday night, I would never watch, and people up here in the Lehigh Valley feel the same way. They would never watch NFL Friday night football.
Yeah, they would.
Chris, yes,
they
No,
would.
They would not.
Yes, they would.
No, you wouldn't, because you don't know where we live. You don't know this area. Okay, maybe in Philadelphia it doesn't matter, but up here it does matter.
And Chris, what you're saying, I say the same thing to Pat. Living in an area for 26 years of my life where Friday night football, the city's shut down. The city,
Okay.
they shut down.
Hear me out on this, and Chris, because I want to get your opinion. So the Friday night game, if it is Jaguars versus Texans, there's a pretty good chance you're probably not watching anyway.
I would agree,
and that's my point of it. Of like, you're not going to have your local team play every time.
Something else. If the Eagles are on Friday night, I'm watching the Easton Red Rovers play Parkland.
And that's your choice. Go ahead, have fun. Like the NFL's not sweating it.
I'm just telling you. You're telling me and everybody on the station there that the rest of the country feels this way. Well, I'm telling you, you're wrong.
I'm saying the NFL would not be impacted if they move the Thursday games to Friday. I'm not telling everybody that they wouldn't care because you're missing whatever, the Panthers versus the Tigers. I'm saying in this situation, the Eagles having one Friday night game is not going to kill anybody. It would actually help people, I feel like, nationwide if they just move the game to Friday. It'd be a more enjoyable experience.
If the NFL isn't going to be impacted, like you just said, why would they do it?
I think you'd have more eyes on the product on Friday. You're impacting your audience having a Thursday night game and impacting. Like we talked about it last week. Crap, we got to you got to get up for work tomorrow morning, and people, are you taking off? Are you taking off Thursday? You're taking off Friday. You don't have to worry about that Friday night game.
Here's the only thing I say to you, Pat, is that where I do believe, and I'm not calling you out, but I do believe that there is a bias of where you're from.
Probably.
That you don't understand the same thing. Liv's High School, Marist High School, we had a nicer football stadium than Villanova has.
Yeah,
they play college football in it.
I know how big it is. I know.
I mean,
what I'm saying is, if it's Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh on a Friday night game,
I want to see that game.
All right, well, like, you know what I mean?
I got you.
There's going to be games where you go, yeah, I don't really care. I don't have a betting interest. I don't have a fan interest, and I just don't care.
Don't Sunday games affect your workday the next day?
They do, and we've complained about how many primetime
Sunday
games the
night
Eagles
football.
have had. Yeah. Have we not?
So what's the solution here? Have all games on Sunday afternoon, 1 and 4?
Look, Sunday, they own that day of the week, fine. But the Thursday night game, I think, is pointless. This is a new thing that they can change to Friday.
I like how they...
I just wipe it out altogether.
What do you mean?
I told you I hate Thursday night games. Well, I don't want Friday night games either. Let them play Sunday and Monday.
I didn't even touch on that. It actually become a better product because Thursday night games are bad because it's more rest. Yeah. And then the defense rest.
Open up the new Bet Parks app. Very good passion, Pat. Another chance to win big with all the day's action plus new users. If you win your first $10 bet, you get $125 in sportsbook bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet. Bet Parks. That's coming your way. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania or Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bob believes that sports are inexplicable. He wants to ask you a question coming up. We'll get to that. John Kincade Show on 97.5.
Kincade.com/RG.
Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's the John Kincade Show, along with Bob Cooney and the man who hates high school football, Pat Egan.
Yep.
Who has just become the enemy of every high school coach in the area.
Yep.
Every high school player in the area.
Uh-huh.
Pat, what do you think if like Tim McManus went around and asked in the Eagles locker room, should the NFL play games on Friday nights? If he asked, let's say 20 players, how many do you think would be in your favor? How many be against?
I think if the question is posed as should the NFL move the Thursday game to Friday, I think the majority of them would say yes because their body is just recovering on Thursday.
I think the majority of them would say no because of their devotion to high school football. I really do. I have no scientific data to back up that opinion. But I know I've talked to enough NFL players that still talk about their high school teams, and they go back during bye weeks to see their high school team play.
Yeah, I've told you endlessly, and I tell people this all the time when, you do speaking stuff. When I'm in a locker room in the NBA, when I was in the locker room, and we're just sitting around shooting the stuff and, nothing's on the record, most of the stories go back to high school. They just do. It's where it's your formative years and all that. I haven't had a pitted interest in high school football, Friday nights and all that stuff. But I don't want my Friday nights taken up by pro football. I don't, because I do go to a lot of Friday night high school games. I do still want that option open. Pat, I hear you. There could be a game that I don't give a rat's ass about, but I don't want to have that conflict.
If you want to share a thought on this, you can at 610-632-0975.
And Blue Bloods is on at 10 o'clock on Fridays, Pat.
Well,
you keep forgetting that.
You can tape Blue Bloods.
I don't want to tape. That's my Friday night thing.
That's the real thing. Roger Goodell doesn't want to go up against Blue Bloods on Friday.
That's what it is.
Well, no, if it was a CBS game, then he's screwed. Tom Selleck comes after him and then forces Roger Goodell to get a reverse mortgage, which ends up ruining his finances. I mean, see?
It's a trickle-down effect.
It is. It's trouble. Hey, Brian in Easton joins us. Oh, it's an Pat. The Lehigh Valley is on your backside this morning.
I'm not welcome in the Lehigh Valley anymore.
Brian, what's going on?
Hey, John. I'm a daily listener, but I had to call in when I'm listening to Pat here. Easton, Pennsylvania, high school coach for 20 years. I think he's grossly underestimating how important high school football is in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, we're averaging like 10 to 15,000 people on a Friday night. We're at the games. After the games, we're watching the big ticket. We're following every game that's going on in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm going to the supermarket the next morning. People are talking about the game, asking about the game. NFL on Friday never works. And I think you're talking about Texas, California, but you're really missing the state that you're broadcasting in, Pennsylvania, and how important it is to the towns here and the people that live here.
Patty?
Tonight, Giants 49ers. Is it going to be the end of the world if you skip that game?
Giants 49ers?
Yeah.
That's a Thursday night.
No, but just if you missed tonight's game, is that appointment viewing for you? Giants 49ers.
No, I'm an Eagles fan.
Okay, so move the game to Friday, and what does it matter for you?
He's got a good point, Brian. That's a good counterpoint.
That's my point. Like you don't really care. It's like, all right. My point is it'll inconvenience you for probably maybe once out of the entire season. And the NBA, the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball, and the NHL have all figured out a way to do do and they don't care.
Because high school sports isn't a part of their legacy.
Game on tonight. You'll have
the game on, but if you missed it, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of your world if you miss that game. Like you don't have like this rooted vested in you'll have the game on because it's Thursday night. What else is going on?
Yeah, and you're making good points. I just want you to understand how important Friday nights are to people in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, the Big 33 game is legendary, and I know all that. My thing is like it's as good an inconvenience you for one day,
and maybe even not because the high school season is so much shorter than the pro season.
Exactly.
So your team could even be playing.
Exactly. Like
you make a good point there. But Darnell Newman, real quick, Pat, on our YouTube page has a pretty good point. Thursdays have more viewers than Fridays, which means more ad money for the NFL.
And that's probably what it is.
And he
Less
says,
people watch
he goes,
football
this
Friday.
high school football talk is a joke. Darnell, you make a great point. It probably is.
Darnell made the best point because he's right. Like, the NFL's probably looking at numbers, and that's why I say, like, they don't really care about high school football. They care about the money. So Darnell's point of that, it's less eyeballs, that's it. They're going to take that, but they're going to use the excuse of, we don't want to touch high school football. Roger Goodell does not care about high school football.
I think the thing is, I really do, Pat, I'm telling you, I really do believe the players in the NFL do.
But the players in the NFL have no power.
I disagree with you on that. They absolutely have power. They blocked the NFL from going to an 18-game schedule.
They have limited power, little power. I mean, Roger Goodell has had, Denoris Smith on retainer, basically, his entire tenure. I mean, they have limited power, and Roger Goodell holds all the cards. And if Roger Goodell could make more money on Fridays, he would probably do it, and thus my whole argument dies.
I think you did a good job, though. That was a good job,
I tried, and I failed.
It's a Wendy's Thursday on the John Kincade Show, where Pat hates high school football.
Thank you for listening.
And Wendy's New English muffins are for breakfast. Sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast. In Cooney's Corner, Bob's going to ask us a question. He believes that sports are very strange and oftentimes inexplicable. So what does that have to do with the Phillies?
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
It is. And I'm going to throw out there, who's the better baseball team, the Atlanta Braves or the Philadelphia Phillies? And I would say the three of us here and 97 other people listening right now, make it a clear 100. It probably is 95 to 100% the Braves are a better baseball team. No question about it. Phillies go in there this week. I told you guys, all right, you got 3 games. Make it a 3-game series where when you get on the bus to go to the plane, you're all kind of low-fiving each other, winking and saying, all right, we went in there and did what we had to do. So the explanation here is, yes, a 5-game series. You have to favor Atlanta, this and that and the other. Their lineup is just outstanding. They're going to win 102, 103 games this year. Phillies are struggling to get to 90. All of those things. I'll ask you this, and be honest. Don't let Philadelphia come into play. Don't let the better team, whatever you want. Who would you rather be in a 5-game series right now in a playoff series? Atlanta. It starts in Atlanta.
The Braves.
Atlanta and Philadelphia.
The Braves, because I've got superior starting pitching, superior bullpen, superior offense, and home field advantage in a 5-game series. As much as I want to believe, because I do believe.
What did the Phillies do, 7-4 this year at Atlanta?
No, they went 4-3 at Atlanta. They were 4-3 at Atlanta, and they were 2-4 here, I believe it was. I think they're 4-3 in Atlanta too. They lost the season series 6-7, I believe, or so not 6-7.
All right, let me rephrase it. How much a part of you wouldn't mind being the Phillies going up against Atlanta in this series?
I think
in a playoff series.
I'd rather face the Braves than the Dodgers. Because I think they're in the Braves. They potentially could be in the Braves' heads. They could be in their heads. I don't want to say that they are, but they could be.
How about you, Pat?
I don't think they're in the Braves' heads. I would love to
Not
think they were.
a little bit, huh?
Do you not even think that they could be a little?
No.
Really?
No, I mean.
Even though you've heard.
Would love to be wrong. But I don't think they're in the Braves' heads. I would rather be the Braves in that situation, Bobby, because I just think they're the best team in baseball. And I'd always take the best team in baseball over anybody else. But I do, and it was a topic I had the other day, I do wonder how much this layoff's going to hurt the Braves come playoff time.
And that could work against them.
Yeah, they're going 3.5 weeks without playing a meaningful baseball game. And I really do think that playing a bunch of games where you're just kind of going through the motions and, Kyle Wright's on the mound and full well Kyle Wright ain't going to be on the mound come playoff time. It does something to your mental psyche a little bit. I do wonder if this ends up backfiring that they clinch so early on. Not that I'm advocating that you lose games on purpose to clinch later, but I do wonder if this long layoff has.
What I'm saying might backfire on them is being the best team in baseball again.
Well, how many
being
times?
The best team in the National League again.
How many times does the best team, record-wise, end up winning? I mean,
well, they win a hell of a lot more than a wild card.
Yes, they do, but.
So that's what I'll just say to that.
They
win more than wild cards.
I'm just keeping it particular to the Braves, though.
Yeah, I'm just and I'm kind of advocating for your point there of it might end up backfiring because I think a lot of times the number 1 seed ends up clinching a little bit earlier and they might have more hiccups than let's say a team who ends up hitting a hot streak. I mean, you see it time and time again, whether it be Major League Baseball, the NFL, NHL, where you'll have a wild card team come in, and they've been playing basically a playoff attitude for the last month to try to get into the playoffs. Right?
Connor and Chunas were having a great, not argument, because they both were on the same side of the fence yesterday, trying to get people to be more positive about the Phillies' chances against and everything and where they would go. And something Connor said, though, just drove me nuts, because it's not true. He said, look, when the playoffs begin, it's a 50-50. It's a coin flip of who wins the playoff series. That's not true. The better team wins more often. Yes, last year was a freaking anomaly, but normally in baseball, the better team does win the majority of series. Do they win the World Series? Not necessarily. Absolutely not. In fact, a lot of times, the number one team almost never wins, which might be like a little bit of a curse. But in most times, the better team does win. It's not a coin flip. Like, oh, everybody's 0-0, so everybody's exactly the same. The Phillies bullpen, the Phillies started pitching. This offense is freaking amazing, though.
Everything in life is 50-50. I mean, if I'm going to, go to Connor's side, of course, Connor, it's a coin flip
it could happen.
Yeah,
but
anything
it's not 50-50. It's not just as likely that the Phillies will win.
Either something's going to happen or it's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be Connor's point of argument. All of those intangibles that you bring up, John, favor Atlanta. No question about it. I think the favorite of Atlanta, the size of the favorite that Atlanta would be over the Phillies.
What do you think the line on the series will be?
I do think it decreased a little bit after this series.
What do you think the line will be when that series opens, guys, on our betting apps of choice?
I would say Atlanta minus
400.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking like 200, 250.
See, I'm thinking like 270.
Okay.
Like 270 minus, they're like minus 270, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think they're going to be very, very, very heavy favorites.
I mean,
they're the number one seed.
They are. I got you. But I can tell you, I'm not speaking out of school. Brian Snitker told me directly that last year he felt that layoff hurt them. And now they have the layoff again. So what do they do? What do you do? How do you fix that? Do you play simulated games? Is that what you're?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can simulate baseball.
You can try, but you're not getting the same atmosphere and the same. I mean, if Austin Riley's playing third base and he boots a ball, probably not as upset about it today as he was 3 weeks ago.
Correct.
So I don't know how you emulate that. I think what will end up possibly hurting the Phillies is the Braves came in last season and they got a rude awakening when they entered Citizens Bank Park that they did not expect. They didn't expect that atmosphere. I think that now they know what to expect when they come in. Like, you have a lot of guys that
they didn't handle it. They didn't handle it last year.
They didn't handle it last year, but they might have just been blindsided by it. Now they know what to expect. I don't know. I mean, I hope to God that they can handle it.
I can tell you that a few players directly before Game 4, and I've said it, one's now in Chicago, that said, you people are nuts up here. This crowd is amazing. And they said it with an unbending respect.
He compared it to a high school football game.
They were like, it's crazy. They were like, it's not exactly.
I'm kidding.
They were like, it's crazy in there. And there was a respect when they said it, not a disdain. In fact, 2 players who are still on their team said to me, I wish we had it. Because they don't have that in Atlanta. They don't have it. They have a great crowd, and the crowd will make noise, and it'll be a packed house. But it's not like watching a game in Philly.
Well, it's got to suck when you're the number one seed, best team, all that, and you go up, and it's like we're facing a wild card squad that these people are ready to rip their heads off.
I mean, just watch when the Hoskins home run will forever be one of my favorite from Game 3. Not only that I was there with my daughter and we're watching it together, a dad-daughter event, but the idea when he hit that home run, just watch the stands. If you watch a game in Atlanta and you watch a game in Philadelphia, watch the stands. That was berserk. If that's a word. I don't know if that's ever really a word.
Yeah, it's a word.
It is a word?
The
crowd was berserk. People jumping like just, it looks like a giant wave of people just going nuts in all the sections.
Yeah.
Going wild. You don't see that in a lot of baseball stadiums. You see people stand up and cheer, but they're not jumping around and high-fiving and going crazy like that. And more importantly, creating the endless noise. The noise never stopped. And that's a credit to the great Phillies fans that did it. So, hey, now's the time you put in that beautiful new kitchen and have it designed just for you. Do it now with some help from Colonial Marble and Granite. Boy, those people do a great job. ColonialMarble.net today. I saw a Colonial Marble truck yesterday heading out on Phoenixville Pike. So they were out taking care of somebody out there. So check out Colonial Marble and Granite.
I saw a Colonial truck on my way in today.
See?
From I think we met up in Jersey, and then he passed me on the Schuylkill when I was turning off. But yeah, I was right near Colonial because I heard the Colonial, the guy that said Colonial.
Colonial.
Yeah.
And now, Pat, we've said it, and I think management is going to give you a chance. You have till 10 o'clock to apologize to all the high school fans all over town.
I feel like we're losing listeners left and right every time I crack the mic, but. And again, it's been that way since we started the show. So
I think that here's the thing, though, is I disagree with you on the topic. But I think your arguments, even to the high school coach of 20 years that called in, I think your arguments are very solid. They're very solid. I just don't believe that there is sometimes passion and sometimes belief in something is based on just you're up in your own feelings. And I'm telling you, I know more. I know the amount of NFL players I've known over the years that have told me about I'm going to go back to a high school football game during their bye week. I want to go back to see my high school. And then they'll be like, and then I'll come over in the morning and see my college play. Like, they're really into it. It's really weird. And I think the NFL, nobody talks about when we talk about the NBA, we don't talk about high school basketball. We talk about NHL, we don't talk about high school basketball.
Well, Bobby talks about high school basketball, and you talk about high school hockey all the time.
You can't compare. I mean, when you go, basketball's learned how to figure out going against football. And they play 82 games a year. Like, you can't. The NFL is an event, and we all know that. Just like high school football, to the people that have called in defending the other side, Pat, it's an event. That's what their week is geared towards. I've seen it in different towns, like you've seen it, especially more than anybody, John. You know,
it's crazy.
It's what their life is geared towards, that Friday night football game, and to have anything else interfere with it, no matter how little or how much it may, they just don't want it.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
but I think the best point that was made was from I forget the commenter on YouTube, but it's the eyeballs on Thursday night are bigger than the eyeballs on Friday,
and they absolutely are.
Roger Goodell cares about eyeballs, not necessarily the sanctity of high school football. I don't hate high school football.
No, I know that.
I honestly would be interested though if a poll went around the Eagles locker room, because I think that while they all and I do it, like I
think it would be 16-4. Against
I think it'd be 16-4, but I'd be interested because look, I get my buddies all the time, and we talk about the glory days of back in high school. Like,
but the chess team, when you did win, right?
We won the Catholic League. We tore that place up. I mean, there was parades and luckily the NFL didn't play the day that we had our chess championship, or there would have been a problem.
Was that on NBC Sports Philadelphia, or was it on the alternate?
It was on the gold, the premium subscription.
Oh, really? Okay.
But Roger Goodell didn't want to go up against the chess championship, so he knew better than that. But I think that hearkening back to the glory days of your high school and going back and all that, it's great. But the NFL players also know how their body reacts having to play on a Thursday night game as opposed to one extra day of rest. I think they would appreciate the one extra day. Saturday would be another option, but then you're not going to want to go up against college football. So it's
right.
I mean, ultimately, though, I'd be fine if Bob, his proposal of getting rid of the Thursday night game, I'd be fine with that. Like, I don't need the Thursday night game.
If Bob's commissioner, too, I think that, well, first off, Bob would be a much more popular commissioner than Roger Goodell. But I think that Bob would also, I don't know, relate better to the fans. I don't think Roger Goodell relates. He just doesn't. He's not a relatable guy. He's very Wall Streetish.
I got to admit, if you're paying me $60 million a year, my relatability to you may go way down, John Kincade.
Well, I'm not going to run into your PJs having lunch.
Yeah, obviously you hope not. But I don't know what the balance is here. I mean, Pat, you've made a great case, and the high school people have also made great cases. Sometimes it's just a feel. I wouldn't want NFL on Friday nights. I don't. And you guys know how much I want my Friday nights to be Friday night, the beginning of the week. Pro football to me says it's It doesn't say Friday night. It doesn't
If
say
it's-
Thursday night either.
Yeah, I'm just advocating for moving the one game a week from Thursday to
And I
Friday.
think
I think when we keep saying moving the NFL, it's like moving a lot of games. It's just one game, but ultimately it's not going to happen. The relatability though of Roger Goodell, I'll say to you, I don't think there's relatability in any of the commissioners in sports. I mean,
I agree
there's
with
not
you
one
there.
commissioner I'd want to hang
Well,
out with.
I wouldn't hire. I honestly, I would not hire Gary Bettman to walk my dog on that poop app. He's a buffoon.
Yeah,
He's an absolute
but
buffoon.
like,
And
I'm
I've had
not hanging
personal
out with Adam
dealings with him.
Silver.
He's a buffoon.
Because
I absolutely would love to have a beer with Adam Silver.
See, if you have a beer with Adam Silver, he's forcing you to invite Brian Colangelo and Jerry Colangelo,
well,
and
then
that's why
bad.
I'm not wanting to have a beer with them.
That's a good idea. All right, we got a lot coming up for you, including I'll give you another example why I'm thrilled that Jalen Hurts is our quarterback and not a guy like this. You'll hear it next. John Kincade Show. Wendy's is here, boys, on a Wendy's Thursday.
Hey, Wendy.
Here on 97.5 The Fanatic. A lot of people think it.
back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Just a reminder that it's a Wendy's Thursday on the John Kincade Show. Sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese. English muffins are the newest thing on Wendy's menu. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast. Bob's got those French toast sticks. I would never pick Bob to be a French toast sticksman. But you are. You enjoy them.
Yeah, they're not too filling for me. And like I said, I'm going out to get something to eat a little bit later, so I didn't want to get too filled up. I had about 3 French toast sticks. Perfect.
And
Good
you
to
like
go.
them. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's as we go on there. I said I'm really glad that we have this guy as our quarterback in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. And, Pat, I know we have the audio of it, of yesterday. It's fine. Yesterday, there was an incident in Chicago where the heat was getting too much for their quarterback, Justin Fields. And I'm not shocked, having observed him in college at Georgia before he left for Ohio State, his high school career. I'm not surprised. The heat got a little too much for him, and immediately he went to the blaming of coaches, which was weird because he says, like, what do you think's the reasons for your struggles? Coaching. And then he comes out later and makes another statement. I want you to hear from Justin Fields himself. Let him hear.
You guys' jobs are to get clicks, so it's like when you take my quote out of context and when you just say that, if you paint the picture on the inside out, like y'all are trying to split us up as a team. I'm not blaming anything on the coaches. I'm never going to blame anything on the coaches, never going to blame anything on my teammates. Whatever happens in the game, I would take all the blame. I don't care if it's a drop pass, it should have been a pass. Put it on me. But never will you hear anything come out of my mouth to where I will blame it on somebody else. In this organization, my teammates, never will you hear that. So I just want to clear that up and just know that, like, I need to play better. That's it. Point blank. That's what I should have said in the first place. But, I was trying to give y'all more details because I appreciate y'all for doing what y'all do. And I try to give y'all the information y'all want for you guys' job. So I'm going to do that. And in the future, but I ask you guys just to put the whole quote out. Don't cut it up into words and pieces to make it seem like I'm saying something that I'm not.
You are so full of crap. Absolutely full of crap.
What was this? I don't know.
He said he was asking. He was talking about why he's struggling. Why do you think you're struggling?
What was the quote that he said that was chopped up?
Do you know what he said when he was asked? Why do you think you're struggling? He said, "What do you think? Major reason? Coaching." He says, "I'm just going to go out there and play what the F football from now on. I'm going to just play. I have to play. I have to be me." It was very much like the Randall Cunningham without profanity. Let me be me. They're making it too complicated for me. I just got to go out there and ball. Here's what Justin Fields doesn't get. You're not playing anymore against Illinois and Northwestern and some of the also-rans in the Big Ten that you line up with a better player at every single freaking position than they do. He doesn't get it. And when the pressure's on, you would never with a capital N, hear Jalen Hurts ever say, "Yeah, I think I'm struggling." Well, what do you reason got? Coaching? They're 2 in his head, Bob. He talked about that. It's 2 in my head. They're telling me too much about what I have to look for and everything. I just got to go out there and play. I got to play what the F football. I got to play, my football based on my instincts and what I think I want to do. And he comes out. They made him stand up. He could have come out on his own to clarify things. And the best thing he starts with is pointing fingers at other people. I know you guys are trying to get clicks, and I know you guys are trying to misquote me. You are so full of crap, Justin Fields.
So here's, just for clarity, here's his full quote before this one.
Right, before
that he's talking about. Could be coaching, I think. At the end of the day, they are doing their job when they are giving me what to look at. But at the end of the day, I can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's time to play free at that point. Thinking less and playing more.
And he, by the way, he did not say, that was later, because he did say, the first answer he gave was coaching. And then he gave that explanation that you just read. He's so full of crap. He's pointing fingers. They're preparing me for this. They're over-preparing me. They're making my mind cluttered. But if I go out there and just play my game, I'm smart enough to be able to just ball out. This isn't like, he's not playing Madden ball. And this is Justin Fields. I watched him in high school. Watched him when he got to Georgia. Watched him when he quit at Georgia because he didn't get the starting job as a freshman that he thought he deserved.
Oh, he made the right move because he played hell of a football
he did good.
at Ohio State. Yeah.
Here's the how about this? Brendan's got the original sound too, and we have a chance to be able to hear that, and you can then see what he said. He's just so, but immediately he starts with, "I know you guys are trying to get clicks, and I know you guys are trying to divide our locker room." Bob, as a member of the media, you should be like, "Bull crap." That's not, the media isn't going, let's see if we can divide the locker room today. Come on.
I have to see the full quote.
Let's hear it. Listen to it.
When you say thinking less, what do you think was causing you to think so much, maybe think too much?
Could be, coaching.
That's what I just read, yeah.
But, at the end of the day, it makes it, they're doing their job when they're giving me, what to look at and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I, can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's time to play free at that point. So, just thinking less and, playing more.
I can't be thinking about what the coaches coached me for all week to prepare me for the opponent. When the game comes, I just got to do my own thing. It is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Jalen Hurts would never point to the Philly meeting and go, coaching. And, during the game, they prepare me during the week. But when the game starts, I just got to play my own game. Yeah, he would never say anything stupid. That's stupid.
It's not going to endear Justin Fields to anyone, coaches, fellow players, and stuff. If it was that easy, all right, fine. Draft somebody and say just go play.
And then he says
NFL's a little more complicated than that. Yeah.
Then he says he was misquoted. Bull crap. You were not misquoted. That's 3 hours. That is not even 3 hours later. He stands up there, and then he starts trying to turn it on the media. You guys are trying to get clicks. No,
Justin. Right. Let him bring down the Chicago organization. That's another NFC team. Philly fans, you should be happy.
It's just.
I wasn't worried about the Bears anyway. There, Bobby.
Exactly.
Yeah, by the way, this is the worst. Eberflus or whatever his name is, Eberflus. It is the worst coaching start for a coach in Chicago ever. That's how bad this has been.
It's been a bad 24 hours for the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Fields is 5-22 in his 27 starts. So
we don't know about the defensive coordinators. Like we don't know.
It doesn't even like. I understand what you're saying. Like
we don't know that story
between this, the defensive coordinator, and let's not forget they released the great Nate Peterman. It has not been a kind 24 hours in the news cycle for the Bears.
Didn't Peterman used to do the voiceovers for Ben FM?
Well, that's another. That's
was his dad. Is that his dad?
Yeah, Nathan Peterman.
The
great Nathan, the former
Jay Peterman's son,
former Pitt Panther, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Tim in Perkiomenville thinks Justin Fields needs a little defense. What's going on, Tim?
How are you, John?
What's up, buddy?
So what I honestly think, and in the morning, I'm a truck driver, so in the morning I listen to the Fan in New York, and then I listen to you guys midway through the day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So from what I heard, the comment, and then I heard what the Fan in New York had to say, and I hear what you guys have to say, I think that we're misreading what he's saying. I think we tend to, when people make a comment, and they make a comment off of what they're saying, and then we have the media that writes it down on a piece of paper, the same comment doesn't go the same way.
So you heard that comment and think differently?
Yes, because I think what he's heading to is that the coaching is so much for him at that exact moment. He needs to just simple it down himself. He's not blaming the coaches. He's going at himself for saying the coaching is too much right now. I need to lay back, do my own thing, but also listen to the coach.
But you don't do your own thing. You don't do your own thing in football. You are coached up during the week and you're planned. They're coaching you for what they want you to do on game day, not what you want to do on game day.
Then why do we call audibles?
Well, no, an audible's fine if you're allowed to audible. I'm not sure he's allowed to audible, and many quarterbacks in the league, by the way, are not audibling. They will not have that opportunity.
But what I'm getting at is that what he said and what the media says that he said is two different things. You have to look at it for him talking and not just for what is pointed on a pen. What he said was coaching. Yeah, okay, that's probably it's too much right now. I need to simplify it. I can't just go out there and just coach. I have to calm myself down. When you have a coach screaming in your headset, how can you focus?
Now you're a truck driver. Are you how do you focus on the roadways? Like, I mean, seriously, it's so because there's people weaving in and out of you, and sometimes, it's like I would imagine the focus that you're at, there's stress. I would imagine that's a stressful job.
I mean, I honestly don't. I mean, I grew up in North Jersey, so I'm so used to it.
Okay.
I think, but North Jersey is like the Schuylkill Expressway all day.
Can you blow the horn for us? Are you driving right now?
Yeah, but I'm kind of in a neighborhood, so I don't want to wake people up.
You don't want to wake.
Oh,
Well,
wake
wait,
them
it's
up.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Come on. Be a team player
Go
here.
ahead.
There you go, Tim. Love you, buddy.
Screw it.
Tim's the best.
Thanks, Tim. Tim just opened up. He woke up a neighborhood. And you know what? Tim now and every other listener has a chance to win $1,000.
Win $1,000 right now. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash.
Your chance to win $1,000 in a brand new 2023 Birds Kelly Green jersey. Text the word SLAM, SLAM, to 45911. Or you can enter it on the Fanatic app or at 975thefanatic.com. SLAM to 45911 or enter it on the Fanatic app or at 975thefanatic.com. One winner selected at random. Company-wide wins $1,000. Winners will get a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Complete rules at 975thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash. Presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Please never text and drive. See that? Never text and drive. Good luck. Be careful with it. We have game time coming up at 8:30 today. That'll be a lot of fun. We appreciate Pat's creativity and the team for putting together that. Pat, what can we expect today at game time? Fabulous prizes?
Yeah, we have high school football tickets to give away.
You're funny.
Wendy's gift cards because they're sponsored by Wendy's and a few other things that we'll get to at 8:30. I'll announce the full bevy of prizes.
Sounds good. Hey, there's used, there's certified, and then there's BMW certified. Take advantage of exceptional offers during the BMW certified sales event today. Visit BMWcenters.com for details. Josh in Delran wants to comment on our Justin Fields conversation there. Josh, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, good morning, guys. Always great to hear you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so pretty much, first of all, he's not good enough to ball on his own and call audibles and all this, that, and the other. It doesn't make sense to me that he's even trying to go at the media and turn the whole story around. And I look at it like this. I'm a commercial plumber. I work in the commercial end of it. When an engineer or an architect does the schematics for a new building, you follow the plan. Obviously the coaches in this sense, they look at everything. They look at the X's and O's, and they're putting in like 70, 80 hours, some of these coaches, pretty much all year round for football. So they know a little bit more than Justin Fields. They see, obviously, more than what he does. Now, it comes to one of the points where sometimes the players, especially a younger guy who thinks very highly of himself, to just shut up, listen to the coach, and, follow the plan, and, that'll bring success with it. But I think it goes more so to the new age of how athletes are, where it's about them versus, the old school way of saying, all right, listen, let's trust the coach. He's the one that's taking care of everything, and, we're going to follow the plan, and we're going to go from there.
There you go. And Josh, what is it, Bob? What's his record as a starter? 5-22?
5-22 is what I saw, yeah.
I mean,
Good.
come on.
Keep him down. That's all right. Another NFC opponent. That's all we care about.
At that point,
keep your team bad.
Yeah, let's keep them bad. I like it. Keep it as bad as possible. And if I didn't have some very personal knowledge of the situation, I would feel very, very different.
He was on that show.
The 11?
QB1.
QB1,
no,
right?
I really like the 11. QB1
I like the 11
Under the
show.
Lights. It actually just came out with the new season, but it was weird because the new season was like 3 years ago. They just dropped it in August, and it covers Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud's one of the quarterbacks. So it's a little different than what they've done before. But Justin Fields was on it. I think it's still on Netflix. So you can catch it out. You can check it out. And I wasn't impressed with his attitude on that show.
He was. I'll tell you this. And people can go back and look at it for themselves. Georgia won a game when he was the backup quarterback his freshman year. He was pissed he wasn't starting, and he literally walked off the field before all his teammates just shaking his head and said to Zach Klein from Channel 2, I think the line was, I should have played. And it just showed from the time I saw the entitlement from the time he arrived in Athens. He was an entitled high school athlete.
You see that a lot, I assume.
Yeah, because he was elite. He was awesome. By the way, he was awesome.
When you get to a program like Georgia,
right,
you've been the man.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not really scraping and clawing it. You've been probably praised by everybody around you that you're going to the NFL.
And
which, by the way, he got to the NFL, so good on him.
And we made a little bit of a big deal of the story and talked about it. And then it was you're blocked by Justin Fields. And then it was his uncles coming after
they
him.
all come at you.
Oh, yeah, his uncles came after me.
And the family members get involved.
They're all coming. You don't understand. Oh, okay.
I had the same reaction that you did, though. When I saw the comments, my first thought was like,
dude,
good. We don't have that headache to worry about
because we have Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and that's the same draft as Devontae Smith, and there were some people advocating to take. You know, do you take Justin Fields if you take him if you don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy? And you got to remember Nick Sirianni didn't draft Jalen Hurts because he wanted his handpicked guy in there. So there was some debate whether you end up sniffing around Justin Fields a little bit at the draft, and the fact that you sit back as an Eagles fan looking at another team kind of crumble, and you just kind of laugh about it. Yeah, because it's not your headache to worry about. Our headache is Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles. It's not that crap.
Hey, in Cooney's Corner, Bob wonders what Eagles players think about this strategy that Nick Sirianni had.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
Yeah, you hear some of the talk about. We saw some of the talk by A.J. Brown on the sidelines the other night near the third and fourth quarter, talking about I need the ball more and all that. Okay, that's one thing. We saw a couple of years ago, early in the season, when Jason Kelce looked over to the sideline with his hands outstretched, like, what the hell's going on here? We heard Fletcher Cox go on early in the season saying they're not using me right. What's up? Jason Kelce came out somewhere else, we'll just say, and said something like, yeah, we're a little uptight. Things are a little tight right now and all that. Is this early season doings? Now, he started 2-0, I think, every year, right? Has he started 2-0? Did he start 2-0 after they beat Atlanta?
No.
Were they 1-1?
No,
okay,
I think they're 1-1.
2-0 the last couple of years. But are the players starting to wonder man, we're not only a little bit behind or starting slow, we don't like the way this early season stuff is handled. We might not like the way training camp is handled, because hearing what Kelce said yesterday and the stuff that I alluded to earlier, it makes you wonder, A, are they questioning? But even more so, B, are you not talking to your coach and telling him what you want? He has all this great, we talk about this great relationship with his players, and I don't doubt it. I really don't. I haven't seen anything negative to it. Now, maybe what Kelce says, we're tight, all that stuff, maybe that's just the way they're playing. Maybe it doesn't have to do with the coaching thing. But these guys, Sirianni was awfully quick in a press conference this year after the first game to say, yeah, we're going to have to relook at the way things went in training camp.
Do you think that was because he was hearing it?
I don't know, but now it's...
Because he meets one of the things he does, he meets the leadership council every single Monday.
Right.
Maybe he heard it before that press conference, and the leadership conference said, yeah, we need to... A lot of this is because we're really rusty.
Yeah, and maybe Kelce was, maybe what he said right there was fake also. Who knows? But, he did feel the need to say that things are a little tight, or however he put it, uptight. I just wonder, do you think, and this is looking in the future, which is kind of silly, but it is Thursday before a Monday game. Do you think they're going to change things drastically when it comes to training camp next year?
Drastic, no. Change, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I think we're going to see players play, right, Pat? I think we're going to see them play in the preseason. Not a lot, but more like that Andy Reid used to, where Andy used to go a quarter, and then if he would do a series, he would do a series, a quarter, a half, and have them come out after halftime.
So I wonder what they do, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it'll change, just not drastically, but I wonder if it's more of they get in there for a series every single game, as opposed to like a full half the way that Andy did it.
How about a quarter in each of the first two games, and then they don't play? I'm going to bet a quarter in the first two games, and then they don't play in the last game.
Yeah,
that's my guess that they're gonna. That's my guess of what. Like, I don't think it's going to be a drastic change, Bob. But I do think it's going to be a change that we will all notice.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a feel. Hurts is out there, and they start to get into a little bit of a pattern, and they start going well. I have no problem pulling out. If I set in my mind one quarter and that's it, and they go out there and it's 3 and out, and then another series looks bad also, I don't know. But again, it's way for the future.
No, but
I just do wonder if it's in the backs of people's minds the way some of the subjects have been brought up so far.
It's it's one of the things, though. Again, over the 2 years plus that he's been here, there's things that I admire about Nick Sirianni that maybe, I needed to see, I needed to learn about him, I needed to observe. I think he's very self-aware on being willing to change some things up, take some advice, flip the script.
Yeah, it seems. God, he gave up play calling duties after 7 games.
I still don't believe that came without prompting. The front office didn't have something to do with it.
Well, I mean this is.
But I admire it the way he handled it. He handled it like a total class act.
I mean this is a compliment, but he's not the smartest guy in the room, and he's aware of that. And in a way that makes you the smartest guy in the room. Your self-awareness in that moment to go, you know what? I've hired these guys. I've hired these coordinators. And maybe they have some insight and input that I didn't think of, and maybe they can help us out.
Right.
It seems like a lot of coaches, that's their downfall, is I'm the head coach. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I invented football.
I'm in charge.
And it's like, okay, yeah, but what you're doing is not working. And their ego gets in the way so much because they're convinced it will work. And ultimately, they work their way onto the unemployment line. So Nick Sirianni's ability to go, you know what, I tried this, it's not working. Anyone else got any ideas? I think this is probably his best quality as a coach.
I think it's a great quality. I'm very impressed with it, watching him go about his business. And the one thing is, I don't think he's very self-aware on like the mugging for the cameras and the climbing on the stands to celebrate. I think he throws his self-awareness out the window there and does things that no other NFL coach does.
I think he's just him.
It's just, he's very genuine. He's very genuine.
Yeah.
Is that a good word? Not a good word?
I don't know. Genuine to me is a good word.
Who you are, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm just trying to think this out. Maybe like taunting someone else. I don't know if I call that genuine because...
Yeah, but if it's him...
But you're right. Yeah, I was looking for a better word, but genuine just might be it. He is who he is, and like it or not.
He's a little brother.
At times.
He's a little brother, Bob, and that's one of those things, too. You were a little brother. What do little brothers tend to be? I'm a little brother. Pat, you don't have a brother. But little brothers tend to be a little more mouthy, tend to be a little more the kind of person that would taunt on the field, do stuff like that. A lot of times they get pounded by the older brothers into submission for that behavior. You didn't have that with your brothers. They didn't knock
Bobby
you.
was doing the beating.
They didn't throw you into the Johnson sticker bushes like Doc did to me.
Yeah, we had some. Yeah, most of our fights when we got older.
Really?
Yeah.
You saved yours up. You saved yours up.
Yeah, there were some things.
You got that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
we're not going to tease that, Bob. We're not going to tease that segment coming up at all.
Yeah.
Coming up though, Pat says there's no excuses for this guy, which is a problem. And I also think I'm questioning about something that we discussed yesterday after the show. Our post-show meeting devolved into another discussion about football. We'll get to that next. We have Game Time at 8:30, and then Ricky Bo coming up, too. It's going to be a great, great day. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Open up the BetParx app, and what you open up is a lot of fun. I will do my recovery weekend this weekend after my 8th chemo treatment, so that means I usually have to spend like 2 days where I spend the majority of time like on the couch or in bed. And I'm going to be watching college football and NFL football. And what am I going to be doing? I'll be getting out my BetParx app. And yesterday, while I was waiting to get my chemo, I was saying, let's play a little blackjack. I was playing dollar hand blackjack just for the fun of it. And it's great because on the BetParx app, you have so many different options. You got the games and the spreads and the parlays, and you also have the casino games. If you want to play slots, you can play slots. They've got all the greatest games. And right now, if you're a new user, you can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. So you get the odds, you got the slots, you got the bets. BetParx has it all for you. You'll be in the zone. New users only. Casino bonus must be wagered. and the terms and conditions do apply. Be sure to read all those at betparks.com. You got to be 21. You got to be in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Ray Dunn and Coors Light Saturday from 6:30 to 8:30 at PJ Wellahan's in Westchester for your chance to win tickets to a future Union match or a road trip to Boston with Philly Sports Trips for the Union's final regular season game on October 21st against the New England Revolution. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Union. Dupe and chill. Coors Light is made to chill.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Volpe Enterprises. It's time to make your windows remarkable and affordable. Call Volpe Enterprises. 1-855-GO-VOLPE.
Chris Services, experienced electrical contractors located in Elmer, New Jersey, providing a wide variety of projects and services for residential, commercial, and industrial customers. 24-hour emergency service, 7 days a week.
Great Railing offers the highest quality vinyl decking, fencing, and railing at discount prices on the Black Horse Pike in Williamstown or online at Great
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Appreciate you being a part of our show every day. Tell your family, tell your friends. Game time comes your way at 8:30. Ricky Bo, a little before the top of the hour. You don't want to miss it. It's a Wendy's Thursday. The new English muffin sandwiches are huge. Sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast. So I guess we're getting like a monsoon tomorrow? Because it says, I've never read.
I thought it was Saturday it's coming. Friday night.
Saturday, I'm saying, yeah. I'm thinking tomorrow's Saturday. No, we're having the monsoon coming this weekend. And you guys will be in Florida not worrying about it with Philly sports trips. God bless you all.
You know, we do what we do.
You're sacrificing, getting away from the
it
monsoon.
is.
It's not like we want to go, John.
I know
going to be tough.
I'm happy for you going.
I'd rather be in a monsoon.
You know, it'll be fine. I'll travel again soon. It's not that long. Hey, in Pat's point of view.
Oh, boy.
No, it's not that long. No, I mean, they're saying January, if everything goes well, January, I would have clearance to do something like getting on a plane. So that's perfect. Because
the Super Bowl's in February.
Super Bowl in February, and we're going to be damn well there. Hey, in Pat's point of view, he says there's no excuse for this guy with these weapons.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Patrick.
Thank you for joining me. So we discussed the Philadelphia Eagles today and their quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
We do that a lot on the show.
We do, from time to time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a topic of conversation. And this season has not started off, I think, the way that maybe we expected Jalen Hurts to kind of start off with the weapons that he has. And you, John, had the point the other day of what you need to see from him on Monday night. So just
on opening night, yes.
Remind the listener what your parameters are.
I am looking for threes. I'm looking for 300 yards of total offense from him. I'm looking for 3 passing touchdowns if the opportunity provides it. Now, look, if he's sneaking in for 2 touchdowns himself from the 1, I'm fine with it. Yeah. But if there's opportunities in the passing game, I don't want them missed. 3 touchdowns there, too. And to me, I also want to see I want to see the ball really mixed around. I want to see 3 guys having 6 targets each, 7 targets each. Now, he always gets that for Devontae and AJ, but I want it spread around.
It's easy to do when they are open.
And I trust Jalen that he can do this. That's why opening night's going to come together very well, and you're going to be there to see it.
Yeah, I have trust as well. And I was more on the fence about your numbers, and I don't think I need to see exactly that, but close to it, because the guy has all the weapons at his disposal. A really good tight end, probably one of the best receiving corps in football, if not the best. I still think Miami's better, but it's pretty damn close.
It's close, yes.
A running back in DeAndre Swift, who we saw what he was able to do, and barely scratched the surface because they didn't use him out of the backfield at all. In terms of like catching the ball out of the backfield, they didn't use that on Thursday night. So he has everything at his disposal. He also has the offensive line. And were you guys aware? And I'm getting this from the Twitter account Word on the Birds.
So Word on the Birds. Thanks, Word on the Birds.
I want to give them a shout out. Jalen Hurts leads the league in average time to throw at 3.25 seconds.
Are you kidding me?
Now, when I was on the fence about the parameters you laid out for Monday night, obviously we know the Eagles' offensive line is one of the best in football. The fact that this guy has 3.25 seconds to throw, there's really no excuse for him not to be dialed in the passing game. I wonder how much of this is him extending plays. There was the one play the other night where it was 8 seconds. It was an incomplete pass, and I'm sitting there watching him just scramble around the pocket. I'm like, how can no one be open? So I wonder how much of it is him, but a lot of it has to go with the offensive line giving him time to throw, and obviously they are with 3.25 seconds.
That's it. I would have had no idea that number existed, Pat.
It's an impressive number. And it led. My first thought was
it's a troubling number.
My first thought was there's no excuse.
No, there's no excuse.
Like excuses out the window completely. I'm not going to be coming in if he has 250 yards of total offense and 2 or 3 touchdowns and they won convincingly and he looked good, because I do think at times his kind of games the numbers might not be there but the optics are.
I think that's his whole season in a nutshell last year.
I tend to agree with you.
But how was he last year? Everybody said if he hadn't gotten hurt in that Bears game, he was the MVP. I mean, it was overwhelming.
He threw a beautiful touch in after he got hurt in that Bears game.
Was that just the long pass to A.J. Brown? I think
wasn't it a touchdown? Maybe it wasn't a touchdown.
It was a long pass.
But it was awesome. But it was all. But like he was the MVP before that injury.
Well, because he was doing it on both ends. It's like 22 touchdowns to the air is really nothing. I mean, in the
Nothing.
NFL,
In the NFL,
especially
that's
with an extra game.
pedestrian, actually.
But when you add in the amount of rushing touchdowns he had, it's like, wow, this guy can really beat you on both ways. And if they're able to go out there and instill their will on the Bucs via the run game, that's fine. But when he drops back to throw the ball, he better be finding the open receiver, because there really isn't an excuse I can find for him not doing it. And by the way, I have
you're getting that much time to throw? Come on now.
Yeah, and I have the utmost confidence he will be able to find the guy. This isn't like if he doesn't trade him, but I have the confidence that he'll put the work in, and I think 10 days in between games is going to do this team a lot of good in terms of the studying and the playbook and all that. But like when the game happens and he drops back, I'm expecting completions.
So where's your confidence level when he's on the move throwing the football right now? And let's not just say the last game or these past two games as a whole. And I say a whole is 2+ seasons, 2+2 games. As a whole, do you feel better when he's standing, 7-step drop, boom, throw, 5-step drop, boom, throw? Or do you like him moving his feet mostly out to the right and throwing the ball that way? Which one do you feel more comfortable with?
In the pocket. He was the best pocket passer last year in the NFL. Best pocket passer in the NFL. Best numbers.
Is that a number, really?
Yeah, he was the best pocket passer last year. Mainly because that's an offensive line stat as much as anything. Quarterback's got to do their job, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think, Pat?
I haven't thought about it because I just have confidence in both.
Yeah.
Now
rolling to his left, I feel.
Yes, and I think we're probably going to see Todd Bowles try that quite a bit on Monday.
They're going to want to funnel him to the left.
Yeah, it worked for him in their playoff game, and that's what led to the quote of he can't read our defense.
Which leads me to think the Eagles should go to that pocket passing game, much like they did against Minnesota in Game 2 last year.
The quick hits.
Yeah.
And then Jalen tucked it and ran it a few times for big gains.
Yeah.
For big gains. So, interesting. It's Pat, very very compelling there to think about that. I was interested because yesterday in our post-show meeting, we were having very compelling discussions about stuff like that. And what did it devolve into? What is your Eagles game time preference on Sundays? And it was very spirited, but like as far as what people like, what they don't like, and I think a lot of fans are that way too. I don't really dig the 425 games. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is.
Dinner comes into play.
I guess, too, doing this job, you realize it's going till like almost 8 o'clock. Then you got to sit down and do your work because you got to see what happens in the Eagles game.
Yeah, you usually watch it over again.
I mean.
It was funny. Our boss, Chuck D'Amico, he said, the food comes into play.
Yes.
Like 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And it's true. We have at my house, a 1 o'clock routine where we get snacks out at halftime and, do all that stuff. And it's perfect timing because it's 2:30, 3 o'clock. You're not having dinner till a little bit later. It does come into play. 4:30, now it's like, all right, it's dinner time at halftime. How you judging that? I don't want to get up and go outside and cook. I love the grill, but I'm not getting up in the middle. So I went 1 o'clock's my favorite, 4:30 second. You can have the other ones.
Yeah, 1 o'clock's my favorite, 8 o'clock my second favorite.
I like 4:25. I think I'm on the island.
You are on the island.
Yeah, I'm a late riser. So I like being able to wake up.
You want to go to
brunch?
You're brunch.
I brunch so hard.
You're the brunch generation.
Yeah, I mean that's
you and Jamie with the brunches.
Me and Todd really were kindred spirits with that because he kept bringing like the food's ready, and I'm like the food is ready at brunch.
Yes,
but it's hard for me to get up at like 10 o'clock and head out to brunch.
Little brunch.
I like to sleep in. I have late Saturdays, Bobby.
Do you really? With two little
wild.
kids, what time do you usually get up on Saturdays?
I don't like to discuss my personal life,
all right.
but I get
You
up
do
when
have
I
two
get
little
up.
kids, am I right?
I do have two little kids.
Okay, well then that's as far as we'll go.
Don't you have to get up and be with them?
I get up when I get up. That's all you gentlemen need
he's
to
the
know.
man. He's the king of his castle.
I am the king of my castle.
Oh, look
Damn
at
right.
you.
His kingdom.
Yeah, congratulations on your success.
I have Michelle Ferrari on speed dial.
Well, but no, she does.
No, I do.
I think she's going to beat you.
Because I'm the king of my castle.
Yeah, I think she's going to beat you to it.
All right? Joe Cordell and me are like this. We're best friends.
Even though I am the one who wakes up, my wife does not like my... Look, when you get up at 4 in the morning, for me right now, Bob's sleeping in on Saturdays like 7:15.
Yeah.
And like Christina's like, can't you sleep longer than that? I'm like, when you get up every day at 4 a.m., no, you can't.
Sleep
Like
is
sleeping for
overrated.
3
It's
hours
not
is tough.
overrated. So
It is
overrated.
overrated.
God, you're Harry Hardo with this.
You
Sleep
don't
is
know what
overrated.
anything's going on when you're sleeping.
I'm fine with that.
Bob, he likes that.
I mean,
Why do people
what am I
like to
missing?
die in their sleep? Because there's no difference.
What did I miss yesterday when I was napping? Bam. What did I miss?
Well, you know what they're not going to miss?
What did you gain?
It's Thursday
Gain
at
sleep.
8:30. I know what you're not missing now. You're not missing game time with fabulous prizes.
Gentlemen, hello. Welcome
Hi,
into
Pat.
game time. Today's game is sleep or no sleep.
You're kidding
me
me.
and Bob debate. No, it's
There you
not.
go.
It's not. It is real team or fake team. So
Oh,
I'm
this
just
is
going to give you a
great.
team name, and you just have to tell me if it's an actual team or if it's fake. We
Now,
have,
does the listener answer and we're a lifeline, or how does this work?
yeah. If you guys think that you can help the listener out, sure, why not? The listener can also go to one of you gentlemen because you
Okay.
might know the obscure teams that we're talking about.
This is
Some of
awesome.
them are known. Some of them are. I mean, like, we combed the globe to find these teams. All right, so this isn't just a gimme. 610-632-0975 if you want to jump on in. Great prizes today. We, of course, have a Wendy's gift card because it's brought to you by Wendy's.
Thanks, Wendy's.
Introducing Wendy's new English muffin for breakfast. Choose a sausage, egg, and cheese. Of course, they have the bacon, egg, and cheese. That's my favorite. Choose it this morning. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast. And we have a $50 gift card to give away. We have a 4-pack of tickets as Temple battles nationally ranked Miami. So Miami can come in here and get it.
In the rain.
3:30 at the link.
In the rain. That
Well,
slows them down.
Yeah, maybe.
That slows them down.
Pair of tickets as Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast live this Saturday at the Man. We have a pair of tickets for the Bates Motel, something that, John, I know you're interested in
I
doing.
am interested. I can't go right now.
But you're interested.
I can't wait to go.
And then Barbie on digital, which is like one
I'm
of the
not interested
probably
in Barbie, even though I heard it was
biggest
cute.
movie of the year. 610-632-0975. Let's go to John in the Northeast.
Hi, John.
Good morning, guys.
What are you up to, buddy? Now you got me as a lifeline, so I'm playing with you.
All right, John, you just have to tell me if this team is real or if this team is fake. The Evansville Purple Aces. Is that real or is that fake? Evansville Purple Aces.
Wow. I'm going to say that's real.
That's fine.
I lean towards you, too, being it real. Yes!
Oh, nice.
Good job, John.
I'll tell you right now, I think this is the easiest one because
They
the
think that's the
Evansville
easiest
Purple
one?
Aces,
Right.
of course, their enrollment 4,000 strong. Their famous alumni is Kyle Freeland, the ace of the Colorado Rockies, who, by the way, is a former draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies. So I thought that
geez.
was an easy one. First round pick.
Yeah.
By the way, they got
Sure.
2 starting pitchers that are going to give us agita
Well, who?
in the postseason.
Oh, Colorado?
The Diamondbacks. Oh, no, I'm Colorado. I'm thinking, okay.
Okay, Colorado.
Right,
Anyway, John wins a $50 gift
Good
card
job,
from
John.
Wendy's.
Good job, John.
Introducing Wendy's new English muffin for breakfast. Choose a sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's at participating Wendy's during breakfast hours. Let's go to Ben in Westchester.
What's up, Ben?
Yo, guys.
Hi, Benny.
Benny from the borough. What's
He's in the
happening?
borough, baby.
All right, Benny, your lifeline is going to be Bob if you need him. Okay, if you need Bob, go to him.
I won't, and I wouldn't even if I did.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I don't
Appreciate
like Bob.
you too,
I don't-
buddy.
I don't like Bob either, Benny. Thank you for listening. Your team name is the Evergreen State Geoducks. The
Don't-
Evergreen State Geoducks. Is that a real team or a fake team, Benny?
Oh man. I mean, it sounds fake, but I'm gonna say real because I'm feeling lucky and I'm getting those Bates Motel tickets.
Let's
All right,
find
let's see.
out.
Let's see.
Let's find
Bob,
out.
Bob, would you have said real or not?
Real.
Just since
Real, yeah.
you say
Okay.
real too.
Gentlemen, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Evergreen
Good
But I
job.
would have answered Ben if you asked,
Geoducks.
so.
They have 2,000 strong right now in current enrollment.
Really?
Famous alumni Michael Richards, of course, Kramer and Seinfeld, and Carrie Brownstein, musician.
Who's that?
She's in Slater Kenny, who's like an indie band, but
Okay,
they're very
good.
popular.
Okay.
Yeah, and he will end up winning the Bates Motel ticket. Sure, we'll give him that. Absolutely.
And he's taking Bob.
Yes, him and Bob have to go. Bates Motel, just all you have to do is save big. It's the Fanatics deal of the week this week. You get 2 tickets to the Bates Motel for just $50. Get the exclusive offer now at 975thefanatic.com. Keyword, deal. Let's go to Rich in Levittown. Rich is up next.
Hi, Rich.
Good morning.
You got
Good morning,
me.
guys.
If you
How
got
you
me,
doing?
if you need me.
I'm happy. That's all I wanted.
All right,
Okay.
there we go.
Rich, your team name is the Guadalupe Assassin Babies. The Guadalupe Assassin Babies, is that real or is that fake?
You know what, John? I was happy I had you, but I'm pretty strongly feeling this is fake.
I think it's fake. I think it's fake too. That's what I would have told you.
No faith in the assassin babies, gentlemen. That is fake. Correct. Yes. I stole a nickname from a UFC fighter for that one.
Really?
Yes. And because of your
what's Rich getting?
Rich is going to get the 4-pack of tickets as Temple football and the Owls battle nationally ranked Miami Saturday at 3:30, Lincoln Financial Field. How about this? The first 2,500 fans receive a Joe Klecko replica jersey as a part of Temple celebration of Champions Day. Visit owlstix.com for all your ticket needs.
The only thing I'm pissed about with that jersey giveaway is that some of those dirty, rotten Walmart alumni from Miami will be grabbing some of them. I want the Temple people to get them.
I would like to think that if you're a Miami fan, you're probably not taking it.
I hope so. I hope so.
I would think.
Leave them for the Temple fans.
Who knows? Let's go to Rich in Cherry Hill. He's up next.
What's up, Rich?
Hey, good morning, guys.
All right, Rich. Your team name is, and by the way, you're playing with Bob here. Your team name is the Butt County High School Pirates. The Butt Pirates. Is that real or is that fake?
Oh my God. Bob, I think this got to be fake. What do you think?
No, I think it's real. I don't think Pat is that. It's up to you, Rich. I think it's real.
All right. Butt Pirates are real.
Let's find out.
Yes!
Spelled B-U-T-T-E.
That's the Butte.
Where is it?
Yeah, you know
That's
what,
Butte.
John? They knew what they were doing.
Yes,
All
they
right?
did.
It's the Butt Pirates.
They're the Butte,
Butt
exactly.
County High School. They have 166 in enrollment. They have no famous alumni to speak of. They're located in Idaho, and they are known for one thing. and That's being the best Butt Pirates.
Yeah,
the best Butt Pirates that they can be. But those Pirates ended up winning Rich. Let's give him a pair of tickets as Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast live this Saturday at the Man. Get tickets at livenation.com. Yes, nobody wants to face the Pirates.
My daughter's going to the Always Sunny.
It should be fun.
She's very excited to see that.
Let's go to Colin in Westchester up next.
Oh, Colin, another Burrsman.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What are you up to,
How are
Colin?
you?
Let's see if we can get you a winner
Yeah, Colin,
today.
you're to be playing with John. Your team is the Scottsdale Community College Fighting Artichokes. Is that real or is that fake?
Oh, what do you think, John?
I'm leaning towards fake.
Yeah, you want to go fake?
But it is community college, so you never know. They might go for something. They may go for something outlandish to get attention.
Yeah, let's go with the outlandish, and it's real.
You guys, good choice. Good choice. How could you not forget? How could you guys not forget the Scottsdale Community College Fighting Artichokes? 10,000 in enrollment, but also probably the best list of the alumni we can get. Bill Hader.
Oh, my
of course,
gosh.
49ers.
I love Bill Hader.
Former 49ers great Tim Rattay. David Spade and former Eagle great Charlie Garner.
Wow,
also
that
went
is
to
great.
Scottsdale Community. They're all fighting artichokes. And because of that, Colin is going to end up winning Barbie on Digital. Margot Robbie brings Barbie to life with Ryan Gosling and an all-star cast. Own it now on digital. She is talented.
You like Margot?
I would risk it all. Let's go to Anthony in Bristol. He's going to be playing with Bob Cooney for this one.
What's up, Anthony?
Anthony, what's up, buddy?
All right, Anthony, you're going to be playing with Bob Cooney, all right? Your team is the Dothan Community College Strippers. The Dothan County Community College Strippers. Is that real or is that fake?
What you think, Bob? I'm leaning towards fake.
You're leaning towards fake?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Let's find out. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Is that Dothan, Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah. Guilty as charged.
It's a place you drive through and quickly.
Yeah. You guys.
They
saw
do
right,
have a
saw right through it.
Cracker Barrel that's awesome there, though.
Oh well. I mean, yeah.
If you're on the highway, you
the
stop.
The question is, do they have a Wendy's? Because he just won a $50 Wendy's gift card.
They probably do because every great community has a Wendy's.
Yeah, and you can get the new English muffin for breakfast. They have the sausage, egg, and cheese, or the bacon, egg, and cheese. Just hit up a participating Wendy during breakfast hours, and you'll end up winning.
But has everybody won?
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe this is good because I think this is it's a harder game.
I thought so too, but apparently not. Mo in Warrington is up next. Mo's going to be playing with John.
What's up, Mo?
All right, Mo. Your team is, let's go with the Trinity Christian College Trolls. The Trinity Christian College Trolls. Is that real or fake?
You know, I'm leaning towards real, but Johnny, what do you think?
I'm leaning towards real also.
All right, let's go with real.
Jeez, you guys are good.
Yeah,
I can't stump anybody on this. Yeah, the Trinity College, 1,400 in enrollment, of course. And their lone alumni we could find that's worth mentioning is Carl Hankton.
Who's that?
He was an Eagle from 1998 to 1999, the glory years of the Birds, Johnny.
I don't remember that name.
Well, it's not exactly a time to remember. But Carl Hankton and the Trolls just won my man a pair of tickets as Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast live this Saturday at the Man. Get tickets at livenation.com.
You gonna go one more?
Let's get two more. Two more. Anthony and Delco.
What's up,
let's go, Ant.
Anthony and Delco is up next, and Anthony's going to be playing with Bob Cooney. Anthony, your team name is, let's go with the Tufts University Jumbos. The Tufts University Jumbos. Is that real or is that fake?
I want to say real.
I'm going with you, and I agree.
All right, let's do it. Let's go real.
Let's find out. Is it real?
Yes, we're undefeated in this game.
This is
good job, Ant.
This is like an all-time record. Yes, the Tufts University, of course, they are the Jumbos. 13,000 in enrollment. Their alumni includes Tracy Chapman, Rain Wilson, and Peter Gallagher, who was in the OC, Mr. D. So good alumni there. But it also just won Mo a $50 Wendy's gift card for his troubles.
Wow.
So thank you for coming. And let's get the last one in here. Let's go with Mike in South Jersey, who will be playing with John.
Hi, Mikey. Look, Mike, we have an undefeated game. I think we've had two maybe in our history. Let's make it three.
John, the last time I played with you, I lost.
Oh, jeez. That's great.
All right. Well, Mike, I think this one's the toughest one yet, okay?
Okay.
The Egansville High School football haters. The Egansville High School football haters. Is that real or fake?
Come on now, Mike. You know this
I think it's real.
I think it's fake.
Really?
Yeah, because Pat was hating on high school football earlier, and I think that Pat may be trying to pull a fast one here. I'm telling you, Mike, I lost for you last time. I'm winning for you this time. Say fake.
All right, I go with John.
All right, Mike. Unfortunately, no, that's a real team. No, I'm kidding. That's a fake team.
Mike,
that's a fake team. Yeah, Mike, I just wanted to make you sweat there. You are also going to end up winning a pair of tickets as Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast live Saturday at the Man. Get tickets at livenation.com.
Ran the board.
That's what we ran. We did it today.
We did, yeah.
What were we, 9-0? That's really.
I think we were more than that, guys. I think we.
That was really good.
Yeah,
that was really good. And you thought we were going to get stumped by some of those.
I did. Like, I have more here. I'll just quickly go through them with you.
And let's just try to play. Try to play them here. Bob and I.
The Presbyterian Blue Hose. The Presbyterian Blue.
I'm going to say it's real.
So, me too.
It is. It's a hose
socks.
is spelled hose is spelled HOSE.
Yeah, it's a sock. It's like being Red Sox, White Sox.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The Stetson Hatters.
Oh, that's true. That's real. That's real.
That is true. Yeah, Britt McHenry and Rich McKay, the Atlanta Falcons CEO.
Yeah, I know that. Very good.
We also have the Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys.
I go real.
I say fake.
That is real.
Whoa.
Yeah. No real alumni to speak of there.
Whoa.
This is probably the worst one. I'm not going here. Century College of Louisiana, gentlemen and ladies.
I like it. I'm going to say real.
I'll say fake.
It's real.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Wilmington College, Fightin' Quakers. A complete oxymoron. The Fightin' Quakers.
Yeah, therefore it has to be right.
It is. Yeah, that's
the
real.
The Fighting Quakers.
Yeah, the Fightin' Quakers.
Wow.
Montgomery Biscuits.
I'll say real.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a AA team for the Rays, and then the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
I'll say real. Oh, the Trash Pandas real.
Yes, that is
real.
I believe they're the AA team for the Angels.
My buddy Steve Alward sends me a text, and he says he's asking no shout out for the UC Santa Cruz banana.
I'll tell you why I didn't do it, because everybody who's ever seen Pulp Fiction knows who the banana slugs are. So that's why I didn't do it. It's just too easy.
By the way, I may have the ultimate thing for Connor and Tunis for next year. That's just a little tease based on what we just talked about. I may have the ultimate fun thing for Connor and Tunis next year that I will gift them. That we'll talk about when hopefully it comes about. Some details have to be worked out. So we got a lot coming up, including Ricky Bo. I bet you Ricky Bo is going to completely disagree with you on the high school football story, Pat. But we'll get into that. He always usually disagrees with Pat.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's common.
Part for the course.
Exactly. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, open up the
/RG.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's a Wendy's Thursday on the John Kincade Show, and we appreciate you hanging out for all of it. Wendy's new English muffin sandwiches, breakfast egg and cheese with bacon or egg and cheese with sausage. Check it on out. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Or you can go in at lunch. Ricky Batalico joins us in studio, and Ricky is an absolute master of the dollar menu or the value menu.
Value menu?
Value menu.
I go straight to the triple.
You go to the triple. That's no value menu. When you got
that's not a value menu.
He don't need no menu, just a triple.
The triple's beautiful.
Did you move that monitor so you didn't have to see me? Is that what it is?
I don't know what's going on with this.
It's weird. Now turn it that way.
No.
That's always good. Turn it that way. What happened?
The lotion just blew.
Bob's lotion?
The lotion blew. I don't know why somebody would put lotion there.
Well, that's because you drop it in. He drops it. He drops it in the basket to the girl.
Anyways, I'm brought to you by Paul B. Moyer and Sons. Go where the pros go for outdoor power equipment, mowers and zero turns, hedgers, trimmers. They have it all. Shop Paul B. Moyer and Sons in Doylestown or Jamison, PA, or online at paulbmoyer.com. Yes, I said Jamison correctly every time now.
You did. You've got it down pat.
What's up, Bobby?
Proud of you.
I love the Whaler hat. Look, you gave Pat a good hello.
I'm in a good mood today. I don't know why. I will tell you this.
You're drunk with work.
You're absolutely right. I'm at the point right now where I feel like this is Friday a long time ago. I thought it was Friday on Tuesday.
I thought it was Friday today.
I have not.
Just last segment.
I can't remember the last time I felt like Monday. I felt like this is a long work week.
You know why? You know why? No Eagles game.
You might be right.
And it throws off Bob, you've talked about it many times. It throws off the entire juju like Monday Night Football does.
Yeah, even like Friday's not going to be the same either. You still got to wait till Monday. And you have to come in Monday.
Yes, Monday's the big period. Now, the boys will be down in Tampa. They'll be down in Clearwater with Philly Sports Trust.
Sending us to Tampa.
Must be nice to get sent somewhere.
Isn't that nice? That is a great thing.
We have gone nowhere.
Well, you have TV. Look, you have TV. You have TV deals.
You have obligations.
You guys have TV obligations. You got that big.
Is that your excuse?
You get that big TV. No, I don't have to make any excuses.
Is that the one?
They don't think you know Clearwater well, so they send us.
I don't know. I don't know it at all.
Ricky knows every.
I would be at the Palm Pavilion the whole day.
You love that.
Oh my! There's nothing better than sitting on the beach, having some drinks, and getting a sunset later. Come on!
And wasn't the
best time of year to be there?
Palm Pavilion. Oh, it's awesome.
Yep.
The Palm Pavilion, though. Isn't that where weren't a lot of players right in the building next to it, the high rise next to it?
Yeah, well, we all were. I mean, when I played, we all were.
Did you rent or did you own a spot down there? Did you grab a spot down there?
It depends on what year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, at one point, I ended up buying a condo.
Did you keep it?
I actually sold it to a friend of mine who was basically living in it for free for a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
you were that kind?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think you're a kind person. I am not.
I mean, yeah. Hindsight, probably should have kept it.
Yes.
It would. Let me put it this way: they're selling for about 10 times what I bought.
I can imagine. I can imagine that area has exploded, but they've improved that area. That area used to be a little old.
Yeah, but it was kind of nice when it was.
I loved it.
Now it's grown up. It's almost like Fort Lauderdale now. I mean, when you really think about it, I like the West Coast better. The West Coast of Florida is I don't need the crashing waves and I like the calm waters. I like the clear waters of there you go.
No pun intended.
I like the clear waters of Clearwater.
And a beach. If they only had a Clearwater beach.
Yeah, and I was a little spoiled. I mean, we had instructional league my first 2 years. Like when I first came, I didn't throw a lot of pitches. So what do you think they do? They send you to instructional league. Well, you go to instructional league and you get a place on the beach.
And isn't there like four guys in a room? Right.
There were 5 of us, but it was a big house.
Yes.
And we had a deck outside, the beach right there. So it was. I mean, I got spoiled, and I love the beaches of Clearwater. Chamber of Commerce owes me a check.
It is fan. I love Clearwater Beach. It's
I'll
awesome.
pick it up for you.
Yeah,
it is on.
Jerk.
Okay, let's get this now, Pat. just present your point of view quickly on what you felt about, because I want Ricky's reaction. As the former athlete, and I wonder, too, whether his opinion will go along with mine or yours.
Yeah, let me stand up so Ricky can actually see me. Hello, Rick. Thank you for coming.
When are you going to stand up?
Well said.
That's just terrible.
Well said. We're off to a good start.
There we go.
I think that the NFL should move the Thursday game to the Friday game. The argument that the NFL does not want to go up against high school football is ridiculous. You're catering to the few and not the many. I think ultimately it would probably inconvenience people for one game a year. That's if their favorite team even plays on a Friday that coincides with the high school team playing on that same Friday. I think it's better for the product because the players will have more rest. I think the players would want it because they have more rest. I think every other league has been able to figure out how to go on Fridays except the NFL, and they should move it to Friday because ultimately the fans would benefit not having to get up the next day and go to work on the Friday after a Thursday night game.
And I say that if you went into the Eagles locker room and there were 20 players, and you asked 20 players, do you think the NFL should play on Friday nights? That I say 16 out of 20 minimum would say no. The NFL should not play because of high school football.
That's a bunch of garbage.
So you don't believe that?
No, I don't. Well, I might
don't
believe it, but I don't believe in it. I don't.
So, Pat,
what was the last high school game you went to?
See, I went to high school games for years. Last year.
I'm not asking Bob that.
Last year at my alma mater at
So
Ohio.
how many games?
2.
Okay. All right. Well,
What? I went to 2 games at my alma
for
mater.
what? For what reason? I bet you there was a bigger reason for it than going to see a football game.
One game I went is just to see the team play.
And who did they play?
They played Monsignor Bonner.
What was the final score?
They got crushed.
Did you stay the whole game?
Yes.
You did.
And then another game I did and that was the game I did the public address system for. They have guest public address system announcers. And then I went for another game to get to see them play. And yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy high school football.
So if the Eagles were on Friday night, what are you doing?
I'd watch the Eagles.
Why? You said you enjoy the football.
Yeah, but no, I like the Eagles.
By the way, if there's a problem, if it's in the city, move your high school football game to Saturday mornings. That's when I used to play.
You played Saturday
I
mornings?
didn't play Friday Night Lights.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, we were in high school. It was Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Our schools couldn't afford a lot of the schools didn't
Was it the
afford
lights?
Thanksgiving was like 10 a.m.
Well, no, Thanksgiving's great. That's a great thing. O'Hara.
They don't do that as much
When I was
anymore.
a kid, O'Hara played Marple.
Yeah.
Marple Newtown played O'Hara on Thanksgiving Day, and it was 10 a.m. It was either O'Hara or it was at Marple. So, I mean, it's like you went to the game.
Right.
It was awesome to go see high school football.
After you were done, you went with a keg to the games.
Well, they
I don't know about you guys. Is that what you did after high school?
What do you mean did?
Still do.
The cool thing is,
and how much of the game do you see now?
I have. Yeah, we try to get in.
Yeah.
I have a son now who graduated from my same high school, who is of age, and he sets up the tailgate for me, so I don't have. to
so
do
you don't
it
even
now.
have to go until
Just
game
go
time.
and crash his.
And you make sure he saves you a spot.
Yeah, we go. Game starts at 10:30. We'll go into the parking lot around 9:30, quarter to 10. Hang out there.
Leave there at 1. Get home for dinner.
Leave there, maybe go somewhere else for a little bit, and then
there
go
you
home
go.
for dinner. Yeah, you never know.
Bob's no joke.
I know a lot of
Not a
families.
rookie.
Ours did
No, you're
not, but I know a lot of families that would have organized flag football games. Or
Yeah,
touch
I have
football
a lot of
games.
friends who
Or
do
touch
that.
football games.
Yeah.
They would go and play on a field.
Until somebody blows out that morning and everybody's upset in the family. Yeah, that's really smart.
I just wanted to ask, Pat, you and Ricky, I feel like you bonded.
We're basically the same guy. And
We
I think
did
that our
now.
listeners have known that for years, but now to actually see it come together, it's a good feeling, Rick.
I like that. That is nice. The teamwork makes the dream work.
I don't have a problem with Pat. Never did.
Just seems like it sometimes.
Every once in a while, he's a
You
jerk.
get a little rough with
There's
him.
some sexual tension every once in a while.
There is
but
a
we
little
get
bit
over
of
that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That is.
Pat, you push it. You have a warm moment with Ricky, and then you start to talk about the obvious sexual attraction between you.
He's the one throwing lotion around.
Yeah. see?
Actually, I didn't touch the lotion.
There you go. Hey, 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag.
Yes,
Get
it
yours
is.
today at Home Depot and Lowe's or local home improvement stores. For details, go to Bagster.com. When I say carry it out under your arm, I had a listener this week send me an email. He goes, boy, you can. It's all folded up. You just carry it out under your arm. I'm like, yes, that's why I tell you that. It's simple. If I can set up a Bagster, you can. That's all you need.
I would say
all
that's
you
probably
need.
true.
That's all you need. You put the little rods in to make it stand up. It's very easy. It's not hard.
Putting in the little rods is his specialty there, Ricky. Yeah,
It's
he
not
got
hard.
that.
John has to put in the little rod.
Yeah.
You're unbelievable.
No, he knows how to do
All right, Ricky. So where is it right now? this team and where they're sitting, magic number to make the postseason is 6.
Yeah.
To eliminate the Marlins. That's what you have to do. Then you get the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. It's 8 and 7. I think by the end of the weekend,
they'll be in.
The Phillies. Oh, I don't.
You
do?
think I think they're going to.
No, I think they'll clinch Monday night.
I know a lot of people are.
But
Monday night, will they?
I think it's Monday night.
Do you know what Monday is?
No, what?
It's going to happen. This is my guess.
They're going to clinch off the
Phillies
field.
don't play.
Yeah.
No, they play. Oh, yeah, they're off Monday. I think
you are right. I think they clinch on Monday.
It could be because the Marlins have 3 with the Brewers. So let's say they win.
Now, who's playing Monday? Do you have that?
Neither team. Marlins. Well, the Marlins is all you're worried about right now for clinching the postseason. You're not clinching the number 1 wild card Monday. You're going to have to do it during the Pirates series.
Right.
You're 8 back. Diamondbacks, the number is 8.
Okay.
So between Monday, the Diamondbacks will play 4 times and the Phillies will play 4 times. That 8, you figure, will probably get down to like 4, maybe 2, maybe 3. You're going to have to play that Pirates series. You're winning it. You got to win it in the Pirates series. You got to win. And do you celebrate when you clinch the playoffs?
Well, you could pick up 3 yourself this weekend, I think. You take 3 out of 4. That
makes it 5.
4.
That makes it 5.
You said it was at 7.
Well, that's to
you're
eliminate.
talking about
I'm talking about for the
one.
number 1. Because, right, that's what we're waiting on, right?
Right. But if anybody, who's
they play the Yankees.
The Diamondbacks are second.
They're at the Yankees.
So if the Diamondbacks win, let's say 2 out of their next 4, you only pick up 1 there. So it's 1.
Pick up, if they win 2, you pick up 2.
So that would be 2. That would be 5.
That would make it 3 going into the Pirates series. The magic number would be 3 to get the number 1 seed.
I would think it would end there.
And then you win it against the Pirates.
But I'm still I'm hoping that they could clinch something by Sunday. That means they need to have a good series.
And then you can get where Bob and I have debated numerous times.
The pitching staff.
How many celebrations, champagne celebrations?
I don't think they should have one. I mean, yes, for the second one. No, for the first one, I think just a toast and go home. The second one, okay, go ahead, party it up. You're going to have a couple days to
spray everybody with champagne.
Yeah. But the first one, no, because there's still more work to do.
Bobby? I know you don't dig this. I don't.
Dude,
you don't dig
Bobby's champagne on everything. Home run, champagne.
Damn straight.
Base hit, champagne.
Look, I understand all of what you're saying, John and I, but I'm not gonna poo-poo it. They want to celebrate making the playoffs. Fine. I don't know if like you're playing a game and you get the number 1 seed, you do it all over again.
Sixers clinched the 8th seed. Champagne. Spray everybody with champagne.
Baseball's a long season. I think that's a little different. And I'm not.
You don't think basketball? You don't think basketball and hockey and are long seasons? If the Eagles win, the Eagles win the NFC East. They're not putting on goggles and spraying everybody with champagne, and it is a brutal thing to win your division in the NFL.
Oh, it's a lot of physical work. Absolutely,
right. It's nasty. Yeah. They're not getting out champagne for clinching to go to the playoffs.
I don't know who started the champagne garbage, but it's going to be there.
It's a tradition. I mean, are we going to... I'm just being honest with myself. If I'm a player, if I'm a front office person or something, am I really going to poo-poo guys popping champagne bottles
and
pouring
going to
beer
happen.
on each other?
It's
going to
happen.
Like, it's fun.
They condone it. They bring in the champagne for them. It's not like the players...
Some of the teams sponsor the locker room celebrations. They hire a sponsor. So, like on TV...
Oh, yeah, that's why it says, like,
right,
a beer or
they'll
whatever
have stuff on the walls.
Yeah.
They'll have it on the uniforms. And it's just as, to me, it's corny because it doesn't make sense. Nobody else in sports.
Well, they celebrated every one of them last year.
Oh, they did.
So I wouldn't be
surprised. And look how good
it
did them. Got them with the series.
Yeah, maybe they do better drunk.
Exactly.
That could be. They do a little bit
better.
better.
Get them hammered and they play better
you
baseball.
You can celebrate without getting drunk, as you very well know. I'm sure there's been times you've clinched some or done something. You have a couple beers, great. Got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to. See, that's the thing. I think you hit the nail on the head. Unless somehow they could clinch on Sunday would
they're
be
going to clinch. No, they're going to clinch in the Pirates series.
Sunday to clinch a playoff spot would be perfect if they could pull that off.
Why?
Because then they have Monday to recuperate.
Yeah, but you don't. Because you'd have to use Zach Wheeler in the weekend. Well, and he wouldn't be ready for game 1.
I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to like. Nobody's going to like. Saturday's going to get rained out.
No, it's going to be a doubleheader on Sunday.
No, it'll be Monday.
You think they're going to shift it to Monday?
Are the Mets playing Monday?
No, I don't think that.
I think they would shift it to Monday. Yes.
You think they'd play one game on Monday?
Yeah, I do.
And not let them travel. Let me see the Mets for you.
Travel to where? Pittsburgh?
No, it depends on where.
Pittsburgh's got to come in here.
Pittsburgh's coming in here. I'm talking about for the Mets. The Mets play as their schedule. Let's see
DC,
if they play. No, they're off Monday.
Well, there you go. And then where do they go?
Then they go home to Miami.
All right,
Play
yeah.
Miami.
I think they play Monday.
Really?
Do you?
They
Let
don't
me
give a
ask
day
you something. As the Phillies, do you really want 2 games in one day? Maybe you do. You get the day off.
And
but I don't
it
know.
gets you closer that potentially you would have that.
Doesn't change
You're going to
anything.
need to set up your rotation.
I think they end up going Monday. Hey, trust me. I'd rather have a doubleheader.
Because then you'd have Monday.
Yeah, I get a double. So
I think he's golfing, Bob.
No.
I think you wouldn't have a golf day?
There's something personal going on here.
There's something going on there. You want Monday.
I still have the radio show.
Yeah, I know, but you can play a round of golf.
No, not playing golf Monday.
Okay. Hey, the big part of Big Time College Football Showdown. Temple taking on Miami tomorrow at 3:30 at Lincoln Financial Field. The first 2,500 fans receive a Joe Klecko replica jersey as part of Temple's celebration of Champions Day. For tickets, visit alstix.com. Yesterday was sort of the microcosm of the season. Nola battled when he needed to. He ended up with a better outing than he usually gives you. The bullpen again failed to hold the lead. Stott came through in a huge spot. The bullpen got to redeem themselves this time. The drama of postseason baseball was really all on display yesterday. I know I felt it. I felt it just sitting in a chair doing chemo watching it. I felt it.
I thought it was a fun game. I thought there was some ups and downs. I didn't like what happened with Hoffman because he's been cruising. Now all of a sudden, he didn't look very good in yesterday's game. But Aaron Nola, let's start there. How's that?
That's good, I think.
I look at those first 3 innings, dominant, really good. The one thing I'm noticing in these first 3 innings is that he's not relying completely on his curveball. He was going with a nice little curveball changeup mix for his soft stuff, which I thought worked awesome. It was the best thing he could have done. And I've been saying this for about a month and a half, that he's got to stop falling in love with his curveball. He didn't fall.
You mean the bouncer yesterday?
He didn't fall in love with it. Well, yeah, with Stubbs isn't stopping that.
Yeah,
Nobody's
Stubbs
stopping
doesn't
that.
do it.
Nobody's stopping that. But when you get to the 4th inning, things start going awry. It was anybody in this room or in that room. Did anybody think that, here it comes?
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
I think the manager
I'm
thinks
looking
it. I
on
think
Twitter
the
and
pitching
it's
coach
saying, here it
thinks
comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I'm seeing bombs going off. I'm like, okay. But he got through it. He got himself through it. I mean, granted, he gave up a missile to Ozuna that could have tied the game, and if he elevated it, it would have been the completely opposite. But just an interesting all-around game. I like the way Nola battled through his problems, and then he came out on the other side and pitched well. And you go deeper. The one thing that was absolutely puzzling to me is that the Braves come in, you get a huge double play in the 10th inning.
Huge.
What is wrong with relievers these days? Are they afraid to pitch to everybody? I said to Michael Barkan, I said, if they walk Bohm, Stott's getting a hit. I said, because he hits the ball the other way so well. Exactly what happened. I mean, number one, if I know this from afar, I'm not on the mound, then how dumb are these pitchers pitching against certain teams?
Well, let me, as far as...
I would not have left the inside part of the plate to stop.
Let's stick with the dumbness, so to speak.
Yeah.
But let's go to a Phillies reliever. So you have Kimbrel on the mound, and he basically lets the guy steal second and third.
Right.
I had to listen to it on the radio because I was picking my son up from somewhere, and those guys were kind of going nuts. Like, didn't even take a look at him. Doesn't care. Let him go. What's he doing? Like, you can't just have a guy on third with 1 out and think it's okay against the Atlanta Braves.
I think he thinks he's that powerful that he could just strike everybody out.
Can't somebody
he
tell
got
him
lucky.
You're not?
He
He got very lucky.
Philly should have lost that game. I mean, let me put it this way. 9 out of 10 times you make that catch in foul territory, you're not getting the guy at home plate. I don't know what Luke Williams was thinking, because if he dives head first, he's safe.
He was saying, you saw it. Didn't you see when they showed the other camera angle? He thought Castellanos was going to let it drop.
Right.
So he was standing like
upright,
like not even caring. And then he's like,
yeah.
And he goes.
Well, that's terrible baseball.
That's terrible.
That's why he is what he is. How about that? You know what? Some baseball instincts there. He scores. Because if I'm watching a catcher come out towards the third baseline, number one, I'm going to take a step inward, and I'm going to dive at the plate. I'm not going to slide where my upper body's going right into the catcher. These guys are unbelievably there's a lot of unbelievably bad baseball IQ people.
There's
because I call that a baseball IQ play. Why would you slide into the tag when there's so many other ways? You see players going around tags all the time.
I think he thought he was not even going to, that it wasn't even going to be close.
Well, he's an idiot then.
Well,
I'll tell you, it was funny.
He's a journeyman.
There was two
That's exactly
instinctive
right.
plays on that. So Castellanos, while we'll say 9 times out of 10, don't catch it, don't catch it, don't catch it, and I was screaming it also, his instinct said, I got this.
No, a voice in his head said to catch it.
So we'll call that instinct. We'll call him Mr. Instinct. So he has the instinct to catch it, spin, and throw because he felt right about the situation. The other guy, the runner's instinct was, I'm just going to slide this way, as opposed to having the instinct of exactly what you said. I see the catcher. I got to go up the line, and I got to slide with my right hand reaching out to get home plate.
And it's right.
So he had the good instinct versus bad and good one.
And it's not like that's a play that you don't ever see. It's not like a play that you wouldn't think in your head could happen. So,
you're reading the catcher.
Number one, if I see a guy in front of me with gonna catch the baseball, I'm moving away from him. Is that fair?
Yes.
Just instinctually, you move away from that person. Instead, he just slid right into him. This is how baseball is nowadays. It's like, okay, you're going to get me out here. Just tag me.
I hate the fundamentals sucking so bad in baseball.
There's a lot of bad fundamentals.
And
I will tell you this
and
much.
the Phillies are one of the worst offenders of it. Their base running is atrocious.
I want to throw this out there. Trey Turner does not deserve a Gold Glove.
What? Trey Turner?
No, I'm just going to something else.
Man, hell of a...
Yes, he does make some good plays, but the routine ones are a problem for him. I'm going to say, and this is like from the bottom of my heart, because I think this guy is very instinctual baseball-wise, and I like watching him play. Bryson Stott should get a Gold Glove at second base.
Well, he's got to be in the discussion, right?
He is in the discussion,
Right.
but I believe he should get it.
Like, to me, when I watch baseball players with bad instincts, I'm just like, come on. Like Trey Turner said it the other day.
Yeah.
There were 4 top showstops on the market last year. If you took Correa, you take Swanson, and you take the other one. I can't remember who the other one was. But you take the other 3 shortstops that were the top shortstops. You add up all their Bogarts. They had on Tuesday when I did it, they had 20 errors. Trey Turner has 18. All 3 of them together have 20.
Trey Turner has more than that.
Yeah, I understand he should. But all of them have 20 errors. He has 18. Yeah. He's been a butcher at shortstop.
Yeah, he has.
And by the way, it's a trend. His defense now 3 years in a row is dropping off. And that scares you when you have a long-term contract.
Well, it's probably going to drop off more.
So where does he play? Do you flip-flop Stott to short?
I can't do that now. The guy might win a Gold Glove at second base.
Okay, but if you start to see, if next year it's 22 errors, 24 errors, you can't afford that. The bat doesn't even.
Here we go. First base.
I mean, seriously, that's what I say. It's like, where do you put him?
That's the Phillies.
That's a long-term
I hate to
contract.
tell you, in the long term, they're going to end up with a lot of first basemen.
And a lot of outfielders. You know, Crawford,
Crawford's going to come up, and he's, one of these other two, he'll come up when.
Does Crawford come up, Pat? Do you think next year, late in the year?
Where Castellanos goes away?
I think there's a chance he comes up next year, but I would say the year after is a lock.
If he comes up next year, there will be a trade in the offseason.
Well, I mean, I
think we know who that trade would be.
Brandon Marsh.
No.
As part of it.
No, I think it would be like a money thing. I think it would be maybe a Casty.
Oh, no. I could believe something like that.
But you'll get I think you'll get a lot for Castellanos.
After right now, you would.
But I actually like the way he's playing, so I wouldn't really.
You're not advocating for it. You're just telling people to look out for it.
Yeah. By the way, was it your show or did I hear this somewhere else? That would you. Who would you bet on being here? Aaron Nola or Rhys Hoskins next year?
Aaron Nola. There's too many first basemen.
I'm going to say a double no anyways.
You think no, but you say more likely? I'd say
more likely?
that Aaron Nola finds out that the market isn't as big as he thinks.
I think I might go Nola because I think you have to go Harper first base.
Patrick?
I go Rhys Hoskins. I think he'll be cheap.
I'll tell you this.
If he comes in cheap, that would be great. But you end
would you
up
get
with
Hoskins?
a lot
What
of problems.
Would you have a 2-year deal for Hoskins?
That's another thing.
That clogs up first base.
It'll be 1 year. They're not going to give him 2 years.
So you think they'd only give him 1?
Clogs up first. It puts him at first. Harper's got to go back to right, which means there's an odd man out.
I think somebody else would give him more than 1.
There's an odd man out. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, there has to be an odd man out.
You do what you have to do.
Would Schwarber ever be?
No,
They'd never. They're too big to the
too many home runs, and he's a cult hero here now.
And he is. All right, we got a lot more coming your way, including we're going to talk some Eagles football with Ricky Batalico and find out about the plan going into Tampa. He likes Tampa, by the way. He's been a lifelong Tampa fan, but he's an Eagle fan too. John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Our first Fridays on the John Kincade Show are brought to you by David Auto, and you know David
gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's a Wendy's Thursday on the John Kincade Show. Wendy's New English Muffins. Choose the sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. And it looks like Ricky Patalico was also going to the French toast sticks.
I'm just starving this morning.
And you're not even on steroids like I am, which I'm freaking out on.
I was. I had a rash.
What'd you have?
I had a rash, so I had to be on.
Is that the spider rash?
I don't know what it was.
It was a spider.
No, it was folliculitis.
What?
It's called.
Watch your language. This is a kid's show.
Well, I'll be a son of a bloop. Anyways, folliculitis.
Folliculitis?
It's when your follicles get backed up, like clogged, and then all of a sudden you get like a bacteria, and boom.
Interesting.
So it wasn't the
stayed
spider.
in like a spot like this, and it takes like a month to go away. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh,
literally.
No. Well, they put that in there.
Not in, Bob.
I didn't say a word. I'm just here listening to
when they put the steroid bag up, I'm like, oh, jeez. I hate it. I hate the not being
feel
able
like
to.
going out and lifting?
I feel like I'm just, no, because I'm too tired to do that. But it makes it's supposed to make you feel better.
John, I was half kidding.
I know that. But no, they're trying to, get you to be able to do some more normal stuff during your off weeks.
Well, all right.
But it makes you on edge. I do not like it. You know what I like? I like Paul B. Moyer and Sons, though.
Yeah?
They're absolutely awesome.
You know why?
Because we wouldn't have you if it wasn't for them.
You know why? Because that's where you go for outdoor power equipment. You could get some mowers, some zero turns, some hedgers, some trimmers. You get it all at Shop Paul B. Moyer and Sons in Doylestown. You could shop there in Doylestown or Jamison, PA, or online at paulbmoyer.com.
Now, Bob, you had something on Jalen Hurts for Monday night, and I want to get Ricky involved in it. As far as like sort of expectations. And as you sort of know already, my expectations may be a little unreasonable.
Yeah.
Or they may be a little too high.
I think we're always wondering, what's going to happen with Jalen Hurts and how's he going to do and all that. But besides him, and Ricky, you've been a fan of the other team all your life.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it as a fan of the of the Buccaneers, looking at the Eagles, and obviously Jalen Hurts is probably number one on your list of guys that you have to contain and all. Who would be number two? Who would be number
Brown?
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's. Look, the Buccaneers have some quick linebackers. They have Vita Vea up front. Okay, so they could stop.
Vita Vea's going to be a problem no matter what.
He's a big boy. He takes up a lot of space. I mean, he's.
You're shopping in the right aisles.
He's, I guess, the more polished Jordan Davis type. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
very much.
And and I look at the Bucs, and then I think to myself, can they really cover anybody on the outside? And that's why I think A.J. Brown's going to have a little bit of a field day. They're not going to get to the quarterback unless they're blitzing a lot, which Todd Bowles likes to do.
He does like to
do.
Jalen's, by the way, has done really well. If you check the blitz numbers, he's done really well against the blitz this year.
Yeah, and Shaq Barrett's on a little bit of a. No, he's got like. You all knew about his baby passing away this past year.
He's got a lot going on.
He's kind of on like a mission. So
scary.
I don't know how long. That lasts. That adrenaline can last. But him, obviously, White is a really good defender. Offensively, you don't have really much to worry about with the Buccaneers in their backfield. Baker Mayfield is more of a manager than a player, if that makes any sense to you guys.
Sure.
Just kind of tries to manage the offense. He missed Mike Evans 3 separate times last week, and Mike Evans still had 150.
He had like I was going to say 140.
So I mean, and he missed them. I saw film on both teams. He missed them, and I'm watching. I think the Buccaneers are going to do a little bit of what the same of like the Vikings. Take away the long ball, make them throw in the middle because they have good linebackers that could cover in the middle.
That makes sense. It makes sense the way to go.
Offensively on the ball, I'm breaking this whole thing down.
I like it. No, it's great though. We like it.
Offensively, the Bucs do not run the ball well. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So I mean,
they're going to be one-dimensional.
Okay, so you look at it this way: they might try to run the ball on the outside here and there, maybe once every couple series. If they get 30, 40, 50 yards on the ground, I think that's going to be a win for them. But one guy you have to watch, and this is my biggest opinion here. Has to be Chris Godwin. Has to be. Slot receiver. Eagles are a little bit weak in the middle, and Baker does not necessarily like to throw the ball way downfield. And if he
and the
does,
Eagles don't allow it.
and the Eagles don't really like that anyway. So look for the umbrella defensively from the Bucs, and look for the Bucs to try to get the ball into the middle of the field with either Godwin or Otten, because I noticed last week that Baker Mayfield has a nice security blanket with the tight end Otten.
Is it Godwin on the little slants?
You'll see him on some slants. You'll see him just run some patterns.
He's a hell of a player.
I mean, he'll run some double moves into the middle. It's him, and you have to follow him to the sideline too, because he does a lot of tiptoeing on the sidelines also. So that's why I said you got to watch out for the tight ends, because he may pull somebody with him and leave the tight end open in the back.
I have to see, Bob, that you were asking, like, is it a player? I don't know if it's as much a player that I have to see, but I want quarterback sacks on Baker Mayfield.
Oh, they're going to crush him.
And you should be able to get him. I think this should be, honestly.
You want my opinion right now?
If I asked you over 5.5 sacks.
Oh, that's a big
over 5.5. I wouldn't go that high.
You think you're going to 4? I don't know.
No, maybe I would, because of what I think the score is going to be.
And you force them to throw.
He's going to have to throw all game.
But I'm going to tell you right now, over 5.5 sacks, I think I may bet over.
This isn't my complete prediction right now, but I think it's going to be like 35-10 Eagles.
I'm looking for a show out game also. I don't know about.
It's not about that. It's just about Tampa's just not that good. They played the Bears, who are in shambles, and they beat the Vikings. Granted, it was in Minnesota. I mean, but if you look at the numbers, the Vikings won everything except for the score.
They said that the Vikings would have won that game by NFL statistics 93% of the time.
Well, they lost the 0.7.
And they did. They lost the 7%.
Wow.
That was a wild
There was
game.
a huge odd interception in that game where Cousins threw to, I want to say it was Addison, and literally had it ripped out of his hands at the same time. So, I mean, and they were going in for a touchdown there. So, I just don't think. It's Baker Mayfield, for crying out loud.
I do like Baker, though.
Why?
I think
what has he done in his career that
I think
you
there's
said?
a lot worse. I think there's a lot worse choices you could have.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
And so I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him, and I'm saying Baker Mayfield. I don't think it's as bad as people make out to be.
I will say this much: he is a tough. You know what?
He gets knocked around. He gets right up.
Would you rather face Baker Mayfield or Zach Jones?
Mac
Jones. I mean, Mac Jones. Yeah,
I'd rather face Mac Jones.
Yeah, probably Mac Jones. I think Baker
can take off.
Baker's problem is his size.
Oh, yeah.
If he was a little bit bigger, I think he would be a lot better, just for the sole fact that you could see everything. But he's got guts. I don't know if Mac Jones has guts.
Baker can take off, man.
He will run. He will take a hit or deliver a hit.
If they put him in third,
if it's a D-back, he will try to run that D-back over.
They put Baker in 3rd and 3s, Bob, on Monday night, 3rd and 4s. He many times surveys the field, sees a little
He'll take off right away.
He'll take off and get the first down, slide, and move the chains.
Yeah, and, if Tampa's going to be smart, I hear you about throwing the ball 40, 50 times, but early on they just can't. Because you got to try to keep.
I think what they're going to do is try to run the screens.
Yeah, the screen. You're right. Quick little hitters.
I just don't. Where are you? You know what they're going to do? First couple plays, they may try to run off guard.
A misdirection.
Off guard to see if they possibly can't get through there.
And that's going to be key for the Eagles. Because the Eagles, we know as a team, they over-pursue an awful lot. You have your ends that constantly get caught in the middle of the field when they shouldn't be. So if they're going to try to establish some kind of running game, I see Tampa doing some misdirection, maybe even Baker Mayfield doing a fake handoff and coming the other way.
Are you a little surprised that people don't try to run 2-back sets off of the Eagles?
You got to try to run against the Eagles.
I mean, 2-back sets. Though.
Yeah.
You ever think about this for a second?
How many teams do have? So many teams don't have a fullback anymore.
Well, the Bucs have crappy running backs anyways.
Right.
I know Rashad White. Some people love him, some people don't. But you could throw 2 backs in there at once, and at least you have like a at least one of them's a decoy.
Yeah.
Or at least you could pop one off in a screen pass and leave the other one in. I'm not just talking about Tampa, but against the Eagles, why wouldn't you try that with the 2 beasts up the middle?
Well, that is.
Yeah. I mean, I would try to hold on to the ball as long as I could against the Eagles. That's one of your best. It is, but it's one of your best defenses against that offense. Like you have the Eagles scoring 35. How do I try to stop that? One of the ways is keeping the ball out of their hands. Try to, slow the game down, get some first downs.
I don't know.
Any way you can.
They are due for an outburst, and I think the Bucs are due to be where they're supposed to be.
See, I'd love to see that.
I'm telling you.
I know. I do.
I'm the worst gambler ever, but that's a
so
lock.
listen to me.
I think the Bucs are fool's gold.
Oh well, they're 2-0.
They're like a 7-10 team.
Well, they had them at 5-13.
No, but I'd say
13.
I think
right?
they're a 7-10 type
5-12.
of team.
Their over under was 5.
Yeah, I would have bet the over on them.
If you had the over, you'd be pretty happy.
I didn't
right now.
though when I had the chance.
Because now I'm not so sure. If you look at the NFC South, are you really sure who's good? I know a couple teams have a couple wins, but who's good?
We have 3 teams with 2-0, which is crazy.
But who's good out of them?
Well, that's different.
I don't even. I saw Atlanta play. Here's the thing about Atlanta. The one thing about Atlanta is that they are going to be a fun team to watch.
Bijan
because
is so
of Bijan.
Cool.
This guy could do a lot.
But Desmond Ritter is terrible.
But it's a long season, and let's face it, you get beat up a little bit. What's going to happen to him? Not that he's going to get injured, but you do get beat up as the weeks go on. Is he going to be as dynamic as the season goes on? I think there's a lot of questions there. And then, I don't think Carr looks all that good down with the Saints.
He didn't this week.
I know but I think he's a shot putter anyway.
He's always
weird. He's just got a weird. There's something weird about him. But
he's always been wearing black.
There are worse options. There's worse options out there. Hey, there's used, there's certified, and then there's BMW certified. Take advantage of exceptional offers during the BMW certified sales event today. Visit BMWcenters.com for details. So we were discussing it back there because Connor was wearing sunglasses in the studios.
Yeah, he was prime.
He's wearing his prime glasses. Now, your thought. I will just tell you this. Yes, they are off to an amazing start, and I'm proud of Coach Prime and Coach Prime that they constantly call Coach Prime on the broadcast. I am impressed that anytime you can take a program that's in the crapper and you can make them the topic of conversation. But Deion Sanders as a coach, he was a 24-point favorite in the rivalry game, and he had to go to double overtime to win it. And people are like, look at the coaching difference he's making. What? You almost blew a game to a terrible Colorado State team that you're favored by more than 3 scores in. Now, you got real competition this weekend. If you talk about Deion Sanders, the carnival barker that builds a program and creates the excitement again, that's awesome. There might be nobody better. But right now in college football, there's probably nobody better. But when they make it out that he's a good coach, please, if any other coach is a 24-point favorite and goes to double overtime, they're getting skewered. They're getting told, how did you almost lose to that crappy team? I don't get it. I just don't get it. They want to kiss his backside so much that they're willing to ignore the most important part, being a football coach. The carnival barker's nice. The NIL money is nice. All that's great. Yeah. But the number one thing is being a good coach. And he's not a good coach.
I don't know. I think he actually is a good coach. I think he really cares about his players. I think he's more Actually, I think he's a better offensive coach than he is a defensive coach, which is odd. Isn't that strange?
Could be.
It's like the new way of.
He's also got his son as a quarterback. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he is pretty good. Look, when you're looking to build a program, you're looking to do 2 things: make it popular, make kids want to come there. The common thing is with college coaches, basketball, football, you give them 3 years to build the program.
Okay.
In his first year, it's the most talked about program in all of college football.
But not because of his coaching.
Yeah, but
you don't know anything about his coaching, John.
You really don't.
You don't know anything about his coaching.
I mean, in general, we really don't know much about his coaching.
Well, watch how he does in the next couple of weeks.
We know he was really good. Where was he last year? Why am I blanking on this?
Jackson State.
Jackson State. He was really good at Jackson State. I mean, he led them to a championship. Isn't that good enough? I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, like he's got to come in and bring in all new people and redo this whole program. And like I said, the way you do it is to make it noticeable first and all of those things.
And I love that. And I praise him for that.
He did it in 6 months.
Yeah.
I praise that. When he got the money, he got the back behind him. But the thing is, a coach should be evaluated on how their team plays football.
Not yet.
It's not fully his team yet. You get 3 years to build your own team.
He also lost his best player in the game. He played on both sides of the ball and is probably a favorite for the Heisman.
He could be. He was absolutely.
That was a cheap shot, and he got popped.
And that is a cheap shot.
I like how Dion handled that, too. Cheap shot or not, the kid's playing football. Don't give him death threats and crap like that.
Yeah. I will tell you, I think that his coaching will be exposed. And I think it'll start to be exposed tomorrow.
Where have you seen him be a bad coach, though? See, I just don't know him as a coach
when you're
that much.
Okay, when you are 24-point
that
favorites,
happens all the time in college football, John. I mean, I'm sure.
I don't believe
Nick Saban didn't exactly cover.
Exactly.
I don't believe the 24-point favorites all the time.
I didn't say it happens a lot.
See, you're talking. You're speaking. You're speaking from Vegas. If you're speaking as a president of that university, I'm looking at it this way. We just sold out for the first time ever.
No, but that's why.
Every game.
But no, we're not arguing. I applaud that. But
that's money.
But it's his job is football coach first.
Okay, well, I thought he coached a really good game.
24-point spread, so he's not a good football
covered. He went to double overtime with a bad team. So
that makes him a bad coach? He's won championships,
okay, well, we're gonna
and he's building a program.
What do you think about...
Don't tell me we're going to see when they get killed by Oregon.
What do you think about the NFL moving to Friday?
Exactly. We're going to see...
What if they go in and beat Oregon now?
If he goes in and beat Oregon, I'll give him all the praise in the world if he goes in. He's going to get his teeth kicked in.
It's like secondary, though. Hey, teeth kicked in, win the game. It's secondary. It's building this program.
That's what he wants to do.
That's all it is right now. Coaching doesn't come into play until 2 or 3 years, really. He doesn't have his players. He doesn't have everything that he needs right now or wants right now. It's the building process. And so far, it's an A+++ all over the country for this guy doing that.
And he wants kids to come there.
Yeah,
he's building a society where kids will want to come because they know it's a little bit more fun with Dion.
What was TCU favored by over anybody know, over Colorado? In the first
TCU
game?
had to be favored, but TCU's.
I'll look it up for you.
They lost.
Yeah, but you can't say that.
Spread?
You see what?
Yes, you can though, because a college football team's different every year.
I know, but
that is a bad. Everyone was saying TCU's about to take it.
Well, maybe this was a bad spread in this game. Maybe Colorado State was a little better than everybody expected.
I'll revisit in a month, and if I will be glad to tell you if I'm wrong. And I won't be wrong.
We can do that.
I won't be wrong on it.
I just figured I'd throw that out there.
TCU is a 20.5-point favorite.
Oh, how about that?
TCU losing everybody. There's and by the way, they lost the
Colorado lost everybody.
They gained everybody. They gained better players
because he brought them in.
I understand. But he's still.
You're going to look at 2-5, 2-3, or 3-2 in a few weeks and say, "See, I was right."
I'm just going to say when he plays good teams, I'll see what he does.
He's not a good team, though.
By the way, here's exactly what you ask yourself: did he make this program better immediately? The answer is yes.
He is the best carnival barker maybe in sports.
But does it matter? He's bringing in players too. Got the number one recruit to come with him.
Okay, is it going to matter? If down the line he's not a good coach.
What's your down the line, real quick?
3 years.
Right.
His third year.
Okay. So you can't say you're going to come in here in 5 weeks and say I was right.
No, but I'm saying is what I'm going to tell you.
He
won't be there in 3 years.
He won't be there in 3 years.
He'll be in the NFL.
Well, what I'm saying is if he's growing,
it'll be just like he did at Jackson State, where he told them,
so good.
"I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to build up the HBCUs. I'm here for that." What was he there for? Himself. And he went to Colorado. He was talking the big game about what he wanted to do with the HBCUs, and then he said, "No, I'll just use this as a stepping stone."
He's moving up in his career. I think that's everybody in life.
I'm just using his own.
He had D1 offers to coach before Jackson State. He went to Jackson State, but he had not just HBCUs. He had like actual legitimate.
No, he did
programs. So he chose HBCUs, and he could have left after year one, and he stayed. So I don't think it's fair to just be like, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul, and then he left. Like, he did all he could for Jackson State, and then he moved on.
I think he could have done more for HBCUs by staying, Pat. And I understand guys want to say, if it wasn't Deion Sanders with all that money, I would think differently about making more. You don't have to, whatever. I think he'll move on. Ricky, he won't be there.
Yeah, probably not.
I think he's.
But I got a question for you.
I think go to the NFL.
How many teams is Coach Rule getting paid by right now?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I watched 2 of their games fully. I watched them against Colorado, and I watched them. Their first game was against because Anthony and I were texting during the game, and I can't remember who they played. But again, terrible. I mean, it's college. You get those years to build it up. He's going into any coach is going into a bad situation in college.
Yeah, I think Baylor his first year he won 2 games. He won 2 games his first year there.
Right. You're not taking over, Bob. You're not taking over.
No, it's not like
Gold State unless a guy goes to the NFL or something.
My whole thing is he's still getting paid by Baylor, right? He's still getting paid by Carolina.
Yes.
And he's now getting paid from Nebraska.
He get triple pay.
That must be nice. Nice paychecks every couple of weeks.
I think he's more, and I love
coordinator.
Matt. I love Matt. No, I think he's more style than substance as a coach. I think he's great at creating an atmosphere, building something up, taking something like he did at Temple, building it up and making.
But he built up Baylor too.
But he did. No, he does. But then it starts to fail.
No, he gets out before it starts to fail.
It's short term.
But he also went to the NFL, which he knew he was getting a pretty cushy job.
Oh, he got a 7-year deal
without a huge. I mean,
he got a 7-year deal and full team control. Like,
and there wasn't a ceiling either.
There's
not a ceiling for the Carolina Panthers.
No, but it was atrocious.
Yeah,
he's public enemy number one with that fan base. They're like, he didn't do anything.
I don't think he cares.
No, I don't think he cares because he's getting the money.
Yeah,
he's getting paid. These guys get paid. Now the question is this though: is that I've called for opening night. It's opening night on Monday. I believe the first 2 games, as Bob made me think of it more and more, and I told him earlier in the week. The rain game in New England and all that and everything. And then the 1 day of practice before you get ready for the Minnesota Vikings. So I look at a 10-day layoff. This team should come out fresh, fired up, and it's opening night. And I'm writing off 2-0. It's a 15-game season. And I'm saying, bravo, you won 2 games where you didn't play your best.
That's fair.
And I think that's the sign of a great team. Great teams do that. They have games where they could toss it away. They find a way to win. And both those games were in balance late in the game.
Now, in the Patriots game, what would you say was the one play that turned that game in the Eagles' favor? What would you
Patriots
think?
game?
Yeah.
My first thought was turnover, but I couldn't think of which one. But probably early on turnover.
Yeah, I would say that too. How about the Vikings?
Probably turnovers also
it was
through the end zone.
It was Justin Jefferson.
Right, exactly.
That may be one of the dumbest plays we'll see this year. All he had to do was go down.
And I don't know how to describe the rule. I know it's the rule and all that stuff.
He threw it out of bounds. He threw it out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's dumb because you lose.
Throw it out of bounds if you're going to do anything. I mean, think about it.
Hold on to it.
But you're 2 yards from the end zone. It wasn't like he had a shot to get in. He starts leaning towards the end zone. I don't understand that play.
I look at the. I actually think they got screwed terribly on the A.J. Brown catch that they ruled a juggle.
Yeah,
I think that would have our talking points of that game would have been completely different because instead of a 6-point game or whatever it was at the end, where it was still a close game, 5-point game, the Eagles would have gotten at least 3 there, if not more.
Yeah, but
A.J. Brown's talking point might have changed.
But the Jefferson was a 10-point turnaround.
It was, but that was
automatic 10 points.
But that's the rules, and he did it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but no. My thing
was a big turn.
My thing is he's supposed to be one of the best in the world,
right.
and what the hell was he doing?
I have no idea.
That's just my thought, and I was like, oh my god, that idiot just fumbled it out of the end zone.
I think it was dumb, but I think it was dumb like Castellanos yesterday. It worked. It was a dumb decision by him, but like Bob, maybe that was his voice in his head. Jefferson going, "I'm the best player in this team. I got to get a touchdown." He ended the game without a touchdown. They gave him a lot of empty calorie yards between the 20s.
I don't know about empty calorie. If he was smart, he probably would have had a touchdown.
He would have if he was smart.
Just not
but
smart.
Then he mumbled to himself like the guy you meet in the parking lot asking you for $2. Like he mumbled to himself for 10 minutes walking up and down the sideline. He wouldn't stop.
He wanted everybody to see that he was upset about it.
Maybe he was upset. I don't know.
You know what? Then don't do something stupid.
Bob, you're so kind.
Isn't the answer don't do something stupid?
Don't be stupid.
If I've heard that once, I've heard it a million times.
But come on. I mean,
you've been told that personally, or even
and it
my
wasn't
own voice.
There was no forced fumble on that play.
No, there wasn't. He did it.
He just went, maybe he got paid off.
And people were like, that's the worst rule in football.
Maybe Bobby paid him off.
It's the I don't care.
No money to pay.
I don't care what rules suck.
No,
if you know the rules, don't be stupid.
Right, that's a good rule.
I think it's a good rule too.
Fumbling it out. I mean,
it's a lot.
What else would you do?
Oh, I hate that rule.
If the ball goes, if you hike a ball, you're on the 2-yard line, and you're in your own 2, and Jason Kelsey hikes it over Jalen Hurts' head, and it goes out of the end zone. What happens?
Safety. Should be put up at 1.
And they get a safety at that point.
I hate that rule.
See, I think it's what should happen. You're defending the end zone.
Fumbling it like out of the end zone when you're going for a touchdown. I'll never agree with it. I hated it.
No. They weren't going for a touchdown. They were the other way.
No. He's talking about
like
right.
kicking,
He's
like a punter will kick it out of the end zone for a safety.
I mean, I think it's you're defending. That's the area your team is defending, whether you're on offense or defense.
You make a good point on this.
I think it matters.
Yeah.
You give points for that happening.
It does seem harsh, though, doesn't it?
Punitive.
No, it seems to me like you have to be dumb to throw it out of the end zone.
I think, Bob, it was I think what people are upset about is it wasn't always the rule.
Well, I don't remember what the rule used
What would
to
they
be.
have done? Just brought it back to where he fell down?
Bring it back?
I think they brought it back to where
because nobody recovered it.
Right, because nobody recovered it. They brought it back.
See.
And they changed that
Person
rule.
with last
But
possession.
if he fumbles it out of bounds and it goes out of bounds at the 1, then that's where the ball goes.
Yeah.
Or was it where he last touched it?
No, as long as he doesn't fumble it forward. They don't let you fumble
especially
it
on
forward.
4th down.
Right.
I don't know. These rules are so crazy.
But
Dave
you know what's
Casper rule. You remember Dave Casper?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
you know what's funny is, though,
for the
Bob, is what you're
Raiders.
saying is they changed the rules. They changed the rules. Like, that's a rule. So I think a lot of people go, I hate that rule because it was changed. It wasn't always the rule. So they're like, why didn't you go back to the old rule?
You could be exactly right on that. People like what it was. I don't even remember what it was, but it does seem excessive to me for some reason. I don't know.
Are you worried about any of the teams that could come in, Ricky, as we close up today? Any of the teams that could come in a wild card series being a real danger to knock them off?
Danger? No. A nuisance? Yes.
So
I
you
think
said
the Mets could be a nuisance.
Well, the Mets. No. No.
I know they're
the
depleted.
teams you could play in the wild card round.
I think the Diamondbacks, if they have it set up where it's Kelly and Gallen, yeah, that could be a little bit of an issue.
I think they're going to have a chance to set up their. I think they're going to have a chance to set up their rotation.
You don't
I
think that's
it could
an
be
use?
trouble. Oh, I do.
Let me put it this way. I'm not going to say, like, consistency wise, I won't say the Phillies have the best pitching staff going in.
They don't. They won't have the
against a lot of teams. I would say no. Against the Marlins, no. Against the Diamondbacks, this top 2, no.
Dodgers, Braves,
Cubs,
Dodgers, yes. Dodgers
are so beaten up.
And Kershaw just went down the other day. Left
And
the
if
game early.
I'll tell you this: if the Braves don't win, and Bob was saying again, like the best team, best regular season team, and then it's like you got to prove it now. If the Braves don't win, this National League is wide open for them to just rampage.
And
through.
I think the National League is finally better than the American League this year.
You do?
I do.
Wow, I like.
I mean, an Orioles team. Yeah,
I like those.
The Astros, you never know, and
the Rays.
It could end up being a.
What about Texas?
I was just going to say it could end up being
baseball.
another home or season opener.
That's what screwed the Phillies opening up at Texas.
They kicked
the 0-3.
Yup, they would have been.
Well, they were up in the
100-win
first
team if
game.
that didn't happen.
Aaronola blew the lead on opening day, didn't he?
Yeah,
they were up big, 5-0 or something.
Sign of
it was a big lead.
It was ugly.
Could be a sign of the World Series.
I'm telling you, Texas. Texas. Is
now the other Texas team we get a shot at.
Now last year the World Series was the last series, the Astros. This year the World Series could be the first series, the Rangers.
Yeah,
that's what you need. Yeah. These little insights, Ricky, you can use them.
There it is.
You can use them on NBC Sports Philadelphia or on the best show ever if you wish.
Coming up at 2 p.m. this afternoon with Jen Scordo and Tyrone Johnson.
I like that. That
Radio
sounds
voice,
good.
Ricky
Was that
Vitale.
good?
You know what's funny is your passion for football though really comes across.
I love football.
Your passion
I love
for football.
and I love hockey and I love college basketball.
You like college hoops like Bobby.
Well, because I'm from Connecticut. I mean, how could you not? It's a
women
championship little
women and
square
men.
of the world.
Women and
It
men.
really is.
I know. They win all the time.
Oh, it is. And now Chucky D's lovely daughter is there. So
Yes.
you got somebody
Yes,
there
she
to be cheering
She
for.
is.
So Charlotte, take care of you for it. Hey, support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partner, David Auto Group, and make a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today. You can do it at 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. I want to thank my friends at Graffin, one of our new clients here on the John Kincade Show, sending me along a great golf hat. And I was required that if they were going to be